Frank, this may disturb you, but from multiple people who I was talking about, how we were doing this show, multiple people were interested to find out, who does Frank know?
Who does Frank know? Wonderful.
Who's Frank gonna ask?
Mine was just a mixture of people I was like currently texting or had on Discord DMs in recent memory.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if he's just gonna go through the Digital Eclipse office.
No,
with a
not at all.
clipboard.
Got none of them.
Nice. That seemed like the lowest effort way, so that's why I thought you might just go upstairs.
That is way higher effort than like texting someone that I like from my desk.
Yeah,
I guess so.
And that I didn't mean to say that I don't like people at Digital Eclipse.
No,
don't.
I mean, we don't need to hear about Final Fantasy VIII today, unless you what have you brought Final Fantasy VIII? I don't know yet.
I already knew his answer, so I didn't ask. So I wanted some different ones.
Oh, you asked Phil.
I didn't ask Phil, but I could have, but I didn't because I knew the answer.
If I die here alone, a miserable death, no one will bother to pick up my bones. This is the Insert Credit Annual, our yearly relitigation of one question: what is the best game of all time? I'm Alex Chaffee, and my best video game friend is my buddy Mark, who exclusively plays video games as arranged chronologically by the composer's discography.
That's weird.
It's great.
Pretty weird, yeah.
He's a weird guy. I love him. I love you, Mark.
So my name on this show and elsewhere is Frank Cifaldi. And my best video game friend, is it a cop-out to just say you all? Like, this is the place that I talk about video games with people. I don't really do that outside of this context all that much. So the cast and crew of the Insert Credit Show as a hive mind is my video game friend.
Nice. I love that.
I'm Ash Parrish. I think I misunderstood the question as it was originally presented.
Were you going to say Sonic?
No. Sonic, I don't think I would call him my best video game friend. But no, okay, because you brought it up like that, I'm going to change the thesis again.
Are you guys fighting the group chat?
Yeah, we are now. My best, that is a good question. Who is a person that I would go back to? Okay. My best video game friend is, I think his name is Erator. He is the high elf, not a blood elf. He's the high elf in the Justicar armor in the Honor Hold in Burning Crusade World of Warcraft. He is my best video game friend because while I was playing that game when I was in college, the thing that I would do anytime I would get done playing World of Warcraft is I wouldn't just log out. I would fly to Honor Hold and I would angle my character to be looking at his face because I had such a crush on him. So every time I logged in the game, I would be looking at him. So yeah, that's my best video game friend.
That's perfect. Yes, that's absolutely it.
I'm Brandon Sheffield. My best video game friend is Pocket, my dog, because whenever I'm playing video games, he curls up next to me every time.
And he is your friend who's in a video game. Pocket is in Demon School.
He's in Demon School, the real guy. He's right in there, slamming demons.
Is he? Does he get a credit? Is he credited?
Yeah, he's credited as himself.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are there any other in real life things in Demon School? Any other people or anything?
There's all the movies that are reviewed are real.
Yeah, all the movies are real.
I was trying to figure out if Demon School might contribute to anyone's Ryu number.
Oh yeah.
There's one guy who won a desert bus competition. Yeah. We put in a prize for donating for being an NPC.
Okay, but is he in any other games?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not yet.
How many prizes has he won?
I want to get Pocket to Ryu is what I'm getting at.
We could do it.
Yeah, we just got to get Faye in some kind of volleyball or kart racing game or something, and we'll be able to make the connection from there.
Yeah, Necrokart.
Yeah, Necrokart.
For the people who don't know, and like me, had to go through a journey to figure out what the fuck they're talking about when they say Ryu number, it's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but Ryu from instead of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Mine is very small.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
Through iDarb. Yeah.
Through iDarb, yeah.
Yeah, well, also the Street Fighter collection that we both worked on.
No. We're not characters in the
right.
game.
Yeah, right.
I'm a character in
That's
iDarb. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot.
Frank, do you hold that it has to be a playable character or just a character?
It's just a character. Yeah.
Okay. That widens it a bit. This is our, yeah.
I was going
Ash?
to say, I wonder if I could claim, Esper, you might know this card. I think there's a card in Aether Drift where it's an Afro-puffed lady with a cyborg corgi. I'm going to claim that as me. And if I can do
You can't
that,
claim.
I'm
No.
that's
No.
me, damn it.
It has to be you.
Because Keanu Reeves isn't Johnny Silverhand and he literally plays him.
Look at that art. That's me. We are impinging
But
upon
did
my
the
life.
artist know you?
I don't know who knows me out there.
That's
I don't
true.
know what rooms I'm being discussed in.
That's a good point.
You
That's a
know,
good point. It could have been you.
if your likeness was stolen, I would count that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But for
please start the
now,
show.
we're here to discuss the best video game of all time. Now, Ash, you're exempt from this, but I want to, before we start, ask Brandon and Frank, how many of the 6 best games of all time that we have discussed, that we have crowned on this show, can you remember?
1.
Oh, yeah? Which one can you remember?
Yakuza 0.
Yes, we have done Yakuza 0. That was our 3rd one
I did it.
out of 6. Yeah.
I want to say that a long time ago we did Earthbound.
Earthbound was never number 1.
Okay, then I don't have a number 1.
All right.
At all.
Our 6 so far, we've come up with a different answer each time. It's been Super Mario Brothers 3,
Mm.
Panzer Dragoons Vi,
Nice.
Doom, Yakuza 0,
Yeah.
Outrun Online Arcade, and
Oh, yeah.
last year's Silent Hill. And there is a weird criterion in each of those that led us to those. And this year is no different in that I've come up with a completely different premise for us to discuss our best games of all time. And it is this. If I have a thesis about this show, and it's one that I think ties in nicely to what Frank was saying earlier, it's that if you are listening to this show, let alone a participant of this show, you are a person who does not see video games as a solitary experience. It's something that you treat as communal. You listen to people and factor their opinions in. You discuss it with friends of yours. You take their recommendations. You play with them. The way you are involved in video games is about the connection that you have with other people. That is, if not the main part of it, a huge part of it. And that's something that I would like to recognize this. So I had each one of our panelists take a poll or a memory of the people who are important to them in their lives and the video games that mean something special or is like particularly meaningful or their favorite game or just a game that makes you think of them or just like straight up what their best game of all time is. And you are going to advocate for those people in your lives and defend their choices and the games that represent them in today's ranking of the best video games of all time.
We'll see how well I can defend.
Yeah, I don't know
about
that I knew
part.
that rule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that aspect I was not aware of, but we'll see. See how it goes.
This is what we're
Wow.
doing.
How many of these have I played? Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
have you not all played the games that are on these lists?
Nope.
It's very interesting.
I have.
Go ahead. Okay,
I
'cause
have,
I was going to
but
say.
I kind of I didn't game it, but I did when I was saying these, at least to the people I was talking to and not just assuming. I was like, what could you say is your favorite game of all time that I could also advocate for?
That's fair. If that's the way you want to go for it, you can do that.
Yeah, because
So-
I didn't want to have to be like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah. I thought, well, I just kind of thought the group discussion would cover
It may.
my knowledge gaps, and
Let's
I
find out.
suspect it will. So we're starting with me.
We're starting with you.
I asked people just directly off the cuff, don't think about it. What's your favorite game of all time? That was my criteria.
I said that part,
That's a good one.
Yeah.
except also tailor it to me.
But yeah, that made him have to think about it. Let's start with my own mother. My mom's favorite game of all time is Super Mario Brothers 3.
Nice.
And it is her favorite game of all time because it's essentially the only game that my mom has ever played is Super Mario Brothers 3. And she played it beginning to end. She completed the thing and then put down the controller and never touched a video game again. A hero.
That's
Really.
great.
Yeah.
If you're just going to play one, that's a pretty good
Yeah.
choice.
Pretty good one.
Played it with the volume cranked while I had to do homework. It's really
Mhm.
cool.
Aw.
Yeah.
Really messed up. Okay, so I need to talk about why Mario 3 is good? Is that the premise of the show?
Do we have to
now?
talk about why?
Yes, but through the lens of your relationship with this person.
That's complicated.
I don't know if I'm going to do that.
Through the lens?
I'm probably not going to.
Yeah.
I'm
How
not
do you
going to
do
do
that?
that.
That's a way to do it.
Yeah.
You just said it has to be the way to do it.
We can. I think
What's
we
an
can
example of
When have you let that stop you before?
Yeah,
that's fair.
I think we can just we can just talk about them as games.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Talk about some games.
Super Mario Brothers 3, notably the first game we chose as the best game ever before there were any other criteria on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So a strong first choice.
It's a really good game about jumping around and moving. All the Mario games are about the joy of movement
And the frustration of movement.
sometimes.
Both of
Yeah.
those.
And but it's acknowledged too as well. Like,
Yeah. I'm not
yeah.
digging it. I mean, I'm not making a dig at it.
I am digging it though.
I do dig it.
Shut up.
I think Mario 3 represents everything that Nintendo learned in that 8-bit era before they moved on to 16. So this is like the swan song of 8-bit. I think that Mario 3 does a really good job within its limitations of taking a simple concept like a platform game, but making it feel like it exists in a place. There are, I believe, 8 worlds that are all themed that tie to each other thematically. You go to like the island that's full of like the desert island and everything's deserty, and I think it does an even cooler job when you get to the castle that you have to ascend and get into the sky, and suddenly you're kind of on like a sky map, and then you like descend back down at the end of it. Like that's really fun, really easy trickery to do to the player to make them feel like there's more going on than there really is.
It also looks like something.
It does look good.
Like
yeah,
a
agree.
lot of games of that era, they tried to look as much as possible either like what they were or a specific stylization. But this was like you'd had Mario 1 and 2, and now this one had like a different, cleaner look, and it had all the it had a foreground and background thing. It had like the foreground items were making a shadow on the sky in the background, and it's like, what does that mean? And you could go behind them and things. It had an early in my game playing memory game that had a specific visual style that it was going for. So I thought that was neat.
Yeah, I mean, now that you say that, things like the black and white checkerboard patterns on some of the platforms and stuff, and it's like, what is that? That doesn't make any actual sense, but there it is. But yeah, I agree with that. We've talked on the show in the past about how, probably in that Game of the All-Time episode, about how it thematically kind of has this behind the curtains thing.
Yeah, the stage play element.
Stage play aspect.
And I find that really interesting because I think Mario 1 is all about going above and below the screen, like your conception of what a video game screen is. And this one kind of feels like it's trying to suggest that there's more going on behind. I don't think it succeeds in doing that, but I think it's an interesting idea. A little bit, yeah, but it's like very obscure. The whole like ducking behind the white block thing, it's like
on the schoolyard, let me tell you.
Sure.
It was a big
deal. But also it's only used
deal
for that. It's not used as like a gameplay mechanic or anything. Like But
it was a hint of what would come in a way. It was
that's
like
our buzzer.
More is popular.
Oh, great.
Okay.
So,
number
put
one
it at
right
the
now.
top of the list. Yeah.
Probably number one.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers 3, Frank's mom. Ash, you're up next.
I want to start off by saying that if I get emotional, I apologize. I feel like Frank started talking about his mom, and I just got hit with a bunch of emotions. And I'm probably going to, looking at my list and the people that are on my list, a couple of them aren't here anymore. And the rest of them are people who are very close to me. They're not gamers per se, but they have played games with me throughout my life in moments where I needed them. And the idea of talking about all of these things and trying to keep like a straight face and like straight emotions is probably impossible. So just as a caveat, also, I'm going to charge you, Alex Jaffe, specifically with emotional terrorism because of it.
Mhm.
But
I didn't write this specifically wanting this thing to happen. Don't look at me.
it's your fault. So I'm going to start with one. It's one of the, like I said, all of these are going to be emotionally heavy for me, but I think I'm going to do the one that does the least emotional damage. Miss Pac-Man. So one of the things
that's a funny way to premise Miss Pac-Man as the one who does the least emotional damage.
Well, yeah.
All right. Who's Miss Pac-Man tied to?
Miss Pac-Man is tied to my cousin Eric. He was my older cousin. He's no longer with us. He's been gone for a very long time now. But important to that is he was the one who had the money to buy the consoles. So all the stories that I tell about playing a Sega Genesis in a basement, like it was his console. Like it was through him and his curation of games that I was exposed to things like Sonic and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and Miss Pac-Man. Like those were the 4 games that he had. Maybe he had more. I don't think so. I don't remember anymore. But those were the games that I played. And the interesting thing about this is that, to my knowledge, I actually don't know if Eric played that game. I don't have any memories of him playing that game. But the reason why I included it on the list, and like I said, Eric's been gone for a very, very, very long time. And he has, the things that he has done has had an outsized impact on my life because, like I said, without that, I would not be here enough. He was much older than me. Like he was the cool older cousin. So I didn't really interact with him that much. And I was young. I was like, I don't know, maybe 8, 9, 10 when he passed away. But the thing that I had, and because that is such a long time ago, those memories are so dim. The thing that I remember about Eric the most now, because it is hard for me to recall other memories of him, is that me and my other cousin, he would be like sleeping or whatever in the middle of the day on his side of the basement, while me and my other cousins would play video games on the other side of the basement. And if we turned the volume down enough, we wouldn't disturb him because it was so big. But I remember one time specifically, and this is the most striking, stark, clearest memory that I have of him, is that we're playing Miss Pac-Man 2, and he shouted, "Who keeps eating all the fucking power pellets?" And that's it. And I remember just the thing you have to know about me, and anybody who knows me, especially personally, can attest to this, that I have a very hard time remembering what I ate for breakfast. That's just the ADHD thing that it just does to me. Like it obliterates my short and long-term memory. I was 7. When did Miss Pac-Man come out? Panel. When did that happen?
You're talking about the Genesis? You're talking about the Genesis version?
Yes.
91.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is like 93, 94. I'm not even 10 years old. And, I hear him shout this, and it stood out to me because I had never known what those little balls were. I didn't know they had a formal name. And that was what taught me, like, oh, those are called power pellets. Okay. I learned a new thing. So Miss Pac-Man is the game on my list for that.
That's great. Miss Pac-Man, better or worse than Pac-Man?
Better. The funny thing was I was having a conversation with my husband about this list, and I kept calling Miss Pac-Man Pac-Man 2 because obviously if you make it a miss and stick a bow on his head, like that's like a sequel, but that's not Pac-Man 2, and apparently Pac-Man 2 is a very bad game.
Oh no. We don't say that here on the Insert Credit Show. No. Pac-Man 2 is one of the sacred texts here.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
It is a game where you make things happen to Pac-Man rather than control him. And,
Lord.
Yeah.
I have a lot of credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do have a lot of credits, Frank. You
have
have yet to spend them.
If you do that, can I play the TurboGrafx version? Or does it matter?
There's no TurboGrafx version.
It's called Pac-Land, I guess.
No, Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures is a very different game than you're thinking of.
But the one on the TurboGrafx, you can affect the background and stuff.
That's not Pac-Man 2. Pac-Man 2 is only on Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo.
I'm going to have to look into. Maybe I'm confused myself.
Pac-Man 2 is the one where you play God with a slingshot and manipulate Pac-Man's life. That is not on the TurboGrafx.
I think, I probably just played them both around the same time, and I ported it in my mind is what happened.
I think Pac-Land and Pac-Mania are on TurboGrafx.
We're out of time. We can discuss how to spend these credits later. Is Miss Pac-Man 2 above or below Super Mario Brothers 3?
Below.
Yeah, I think so. That's where we're putting it. Brandon, up to you.
Okay, this is going to be a weird ranking list. I think a lot of mine are going to be at the bottom. That's okay. I will start with my partner, Christina.
Ooh.
Her favorite game is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I like this one.
On the DS. She likes mysteries. She likes to be able to reason out those mysteries. She likes reading. She likes interesting characters. And she likes the Nintendo DS. That's what's up with that. And she's played all of them. But she said the first one probably is her favorite. And we couldn't really work out whether that's because it's the best or whether it was because it was the first.
Yeah.
I think most Phoenix Wrights fans will tell you that number 3 is the best. But
I don't think so. I think
that's what I've heard.
There's a case to be made, but I think I would agree with Christina and say the first one is the best. But it would be a really tight list or tight race between 1 and 3.
I also wouldn't want the opinion of a Phoenix Wright fan.
That's true.
In terms of what the Phoenix Wright best game is. I want the opinion of a video game lover.
That's what I have to say to that.
Yeah. Take that.
What I'll add is that what Phoenix Wright kind of inspired in me is this belief that video games don't need to, they just need to have some level of friction to keep you engaged, because tapping the screen to make the next sentence happen over and over felt really good for some reason in that game. Like it was like a new kind of reading. It did feel like I was somehow advancing some kind of world by just reading sentences. The scripting language in that game, meaning, allowing the designer to choose when there's a screen shake, when like the text has emphasis and stuff like that. Yeah.
All those things are very important.
Yeah.
Terrific sprite work.
Really fun. The sprite work's great. Yeah. It just, it made me think about like game narratives and how this is around the time, in my memory anyway, and Brandon, maybe you'll agree with me, that like a lot of sort of GDC design talks were about like when to stop holding the player's hand versus, wanting to tell a story. And this game made me realize that like you don't have to give someone infinite choice to make them feel like they're engaged with the story. And another example for that for me is Grand Theft Auto games, where you'll do a mission that requires driving to a location, and it's so that your passengers give you some dialogue that you need.
Yeah.
And it's like just the act of driving keeps you engaged, even though it has nothing to do with the exposition that you're getting. You're just driving. And Phoenix Wright was really influential on me and on kind of understanding that.
I was also going to add, like, Capcom has done a lot of work to port those games to newer consoles so people can enjoy them, and I think that's great. But I think the platonic ideal of a Phoenix Wright game is the DS, because there's so many things, especially to Frank's point, tactile things that just get lost in playing the game on the Switch. So I'm thinking of how in later games you had to dust for fingerprints, and you actually had to like tap the little powder by tapping the stylus on the screen to like flood the zone with the powder, and then you would blow into the microphone to move it all away, like that kind of thing. You just can't replicate on the Switch. So playing those games on the DS is like required.
It's the one where you literally yell objection and it picks it up. Yeah. That's the essential version of the game.
I think it's fun because obviously Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney is a port.
Yep.
It was a GBA
all three
game.
of them are, right?
Yeah.
All three of them were GBA.
Yeah, GBA games.
I didn't realize that. That's new to me.
Yeah, they were all Jeebas.
Yeah, they were Gyakuten Saibon was the initial name, and they were on GBA, and then they all got ported to the DS, and then stuff got added. But the stuff that got added with the dusting and whatnot, it made me like, there were a lot of things that people were trying to do with the DS, like we're going to draw a line and then Ivy the Kiwi is going to run across it and whatever.
Ivy the Kiwi?
That one was such like a light touch, and also it was like right in between being breezy and make you think about it, that it felt like, this is a cool thing to do with the DS. This is a good thing that you could do with this.
That is time. And that's once again our new signature buzzer, courtesy of show composer Kurt Feldman.
That's right.
Where are we ranking Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney as nominated by Brandon's partner Christina?
nobody's going to go for my suggestion, which is to put it at the top. So just put it where it goes between Super Mario Brothers and Miss Pac-Man.
I would be fine with it myself.
Oh, okay.
I would put
Absolutely not.
Frank,
No.
are you okay
Hot
putting it
damn
on
it,
top?
Frank.
Number 2.
But it's kind of
You're overruled, technically.
Yeah,
It's
Frank, if two people say
it's
one
kinda
and
two
you say
against
two,
one.
I think it goes one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brandon said I don't care.
No.
Brandon
I
did-
said I'm on board with it.
Oh, okay. All right. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Which brings us to round 2 of 7.
Which is me now, right?
Mhm.
I'm the top.
You're the top. You're the Coliseum.
I promise I didn't make a whole like skit out of this, and this won't be all of them. But I asked my pal Ash Parrish
Yeah.
about her favorite game.
Nice.
Yeah. What did she say?
And I actually she thought I might know, and I didn't, and I feel bad now that I didn't know this. But Ash Parrish's
Wait.
I mean, I think I know it.
Alex, what do you think I said?
I think you said Dragon Age Inquisition.
Brandon, what do you think I said?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that because as Frank was saying that he asked you, I was like, it could be like Dragon Age, it could be WoW, it could be
Magic the Gathering.
it could be that friggin' shooter that they ruined when they made a sequel to it that I am blanking on the name of.
Overwatch.
Bayonetta.
Overwatch could be Overwatch. And if I had to choose between those, I feel like I would be wrong. And so maybe it's a secret fourth thing. And so the answer is I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
All right, Frank, go ahead.
So our next game to discuss and dissect and possibly put on this, well, definitely put on this list, would be Sonic the Hedgehog Part 2.
Sonic 2, nice.
Part 2, the Deuce.
Yeah, it's released on Sonic Tuesday.
Yeah,
19,
that's true.
1192, November 24th, 1992, which is forever burned in my brain because it's part of the cheat code input to get in there. I believe that's how you enable debug. Is putting in Sonic Tuesday. Gosh, what do you say about Sonic 2 that we haven't already said?
At length for many
good.
years.
Yeah,
every week.
It's such a flawed game.
Yeah.
Like the more I
That's why
look
it's
at it and
perfect.
think about it, is like the worse it is.
So
And
this is
in a good way, but go ahead, Ash, please. Yeah.
the idea for this is, to talk about the game and the person's connection to the game. But I would we've talked about that already, I know, but I would be very interested to hear you guys talk about it, like from a historical perspective, getting the things that I possibly don't know about it. And I can share things about Sonic 2 if you want. So as far as my relation to it.
Yeah, tell us about your relation first, because the history is really easy for me, and the relation I kind of have this vague idea of, but I have to admit that I don't really remember.
That's fine. I try not to talk about it so much. Sonic 2 is another one of those cousin games. That was the game that I played.
Wait, we need to pause here and say Sonic 2 is not a cousin game, but it is one of Ash's cousin's games.
Yes.
But it's not
What
a
does
cousin
that
game.
mean?
You're not familiar with the term cousin game?
No.
Cousin game is like a really weird game that like no one knows why they made it, and only your cousin ever had
Yeah,
it.
you
Like
you only
Bomb's Revenge.
you saw it
Yeah.
like twice because you went to your cousin's house, and then you're like, was that real?
Yeah, that's a cousin game.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it's not that kind of game. And not my cousin. My cousin Eric bought the game, but the cousin I would play with was cousin Jason. So
Okay.
a bit of Ashley's family tree. My mother is the youngest of 5. She was born in 1960. I have several aunts and uncles who are still alive. And her oldest sister, actually who recently passed away, had a kid who had kids the same time that my mom had kids. So there was a cousin that was born the same year I was born, and there was a cousin that was born the same year my sister was born. And that obviously became like she was best friends with hers, and I was best friends with mine. And Jason was the one I played Sonic 2 with, and that's what we did all the time. That's what we did all of the time. All of the time. Like the special stages, the races, the split screen races, just talking about, like, he would play the game and he would talk about it and he would say things that I didn't think that I believed him. Like you could be, I don't remember specifically what it was, but it was something about like you could be Super Knuckles or something, or Super Tails, or Super Sonic if you got, all of the emeralds plus the big special emerald.
Yeah.
And
Super
there was a
Saiyan
moment.
Sonic.
Yeah. And I didn't believe him. Like I didn't like, oh, you're fibbing. Like Uncle works at Nintendo kind of fibbing stuff, but I didn't have the game. I could never play and experience it for myself. And it was only like when I was older. I was like, 20 plus years old, and this is long after he has passed away. And I was playing this game and I'm like, oh my God, he was telling the truth. Like
Wow.
this mystery had been solved for that had been years and years old, and I'm like, oh my God, he was telling the truth this whole time.
Now did your cousin? Sorry to be like all nerdy here, but
no, please.
So what you're describing is actually something that was in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and I'm wondering if your cousin had that as well.
Yes, and one of the things that we really like to do is slot them two together, and we would like to put the games that didn't go in there, so you could see the no. So
Frank, are you through Ash? Are you actually nominating Sonic 2 and Knuckles?
No,
that can't.
Sonic 2.
That's not me.
So I want to add something to that really quick, which is that the no, right? When you put in the wrong, and it's like Sonic's like waggling his finger, and can you conjure the song?
Yeah.
So like that song just pops in my head whenever I'm like joyously flipping someone off.
That's fun. That's good.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, what I'll say about Sonic 2 is that like sequel to Sega's big platform mascot hit. They're big. Finally, we have a Mario killer kind of franchise thing, and
no, Mario's dead.
And that game's development was a disaster, and it should not have been as good as it was. Like they had a really solid team in Japan, did the first game. They were kind of split up afterward, kind of moved on to other projects or whatever. The programmer straight up quit the company. The designer moved to the US to work for Sega Technical Institute, which was like foreign exchange game dev. It was like a studio that Mark Cerny started. He moved from Sega Japan back to the US and started Sega Technical Institute. And the idea was, we're going to import Japanese guys from Sega Japan and teach them how to make games for Americans. And also they're going to teach us about Japanese game development while we're here. And I don't think it ever really worked. I think
neat idea.
Yeah, it was a really neat idea. But as far as we know from stories, the result was that the Japanese people just kind of made Sonic 2 and ignored the Americans for the most part.
God bless. You should do that more often.
But, it does make for this interesting kind of slopped together game, which is like nothing like the original vision of it when possibly they naively thought that this large team size would make a really large game. It like Sonic 2 as it exists is like, I think they just kind of took the concepts and levels that were the most done and just kind of strung them together. And, there's all kinds of different art styles going on in this game from different artists and music that was written for like, I don't know, a snow level or whatever, just got repurposed for some other kind of level. And it's just kind of a mess. And
what level can I wonder if you can intuit that, because snow levels all kind of sound the same.
Well, this is the subject of much debate in the communities, but I very firmly believe that the level where I think it's called Sky Chase Zone, where you're on the plane.
That makes sense. I believe it.
I believe that is a
been.
Christmas level. Have you seen the Christmas graphics? Like I actually have a
I've
printout
seen
on
it
my
in
desk.
Some of the,
like imagine the Sky Chase Zone music right there with the little Christmas jingle bells. That's what that was. I'm convinced.
That makes sense to me.
Forensic proof. But anyway, great game, great messy game.
Of course.
And I am not one of those people that think Sonic 2 is the best one. I'm a 3 guy, but
I
Sonic
also like
2
I'll let you
is
have
a
that.
great game. And so I would put it okay, right now Phoenix Wright's at the top.
Right now it's Phoenix Wright, then Super Mario Brothers 3, then Miss
Sonic
Pac-Man.
2 is at the
Sonic
top.
2
Come
is
on.
top. Thank you.
I think it would be a disservice to insert credit to put Sonic below Mario. So we've got to put it at number 2 at least.
No, it's number 1.
It's number 1.
Number 1?
It's number
Okay.
1. Yeah.
All
Second
right. Yes, as nominated by Frank's friend Ash Parrish, which brings us to Ash Parrish.
My next game on the list is Pokemon Red. This comes by way of one of my probably the longest friend that I've had my entire life. Her name is Nicki. We went to school together when I still lived in Indiana. We went to Purdue University together. That's where I met her. I met her at the anime club, and she's just one of those people that we've just been together ever since. That's like, oh God, 20 years ago at this point. God, she is my longest friend. We did everything together at Purdue. That was just a fun, magical time. One of the things that we used to do at the Purdue Anime Club, there was a cosplay contest. I don't know if I've shared this on the podcast before, but there was a cosplay contest of everybody in the anime club. And, this is a club in the early aughts, and it's a bunch of dudes. And, we're two decent looking girls. So we decided to cosplay as fan service, and all that was just showing up in bikini tops and shorts and just doing a little dance. And we won. We won. And the prize for that was a box set of Escaflowne, which I still have.
Nice.
And we went to anime conventions together. She's from Chicago. I'm from Northwest Indiana. We would carpool to ASEN together. We still talk. That girl's one of my best friends for life. And I asked her, what's your favorite video game? And she told me Pokemon Red because it's her first RPG and that she was obsessed with. And I understand because Pokemon Blue was, I believe, the first game that I owned that was mine, that I could take and have home with me. And then I got a Game Gear right after that, I think.
Nice.
And just Pokemon as a game is, wow. I played that forever in a day, and I would end it, I would start over and do it again. I did the missing no glitch and all of that shit. That was my deal. I loved Pokemon. I didn't really translate that to anything later. And one of the things we used to do when I'll share this too, it's less to do with the game. I was the one who introduced Pokemon to my elementary school. I was up early in the morning watching TBS and TNT before getting on the bus to go to school. And, Sailor Moon would come on and Street Sharks and whatever. And then one day it was something that I had never seen before with an animation style that I wasn't wholly familiar with. I knew Sailor Moon at that point, but I didn't know what anime was. I don't know if I knew what Japan was at that point. I was in the 6th grade. I don't know things. And I saw this and it blew my fucking mind. So the first thing I did is I got on that bus and I went to all of my friends. And I'm like, hey, have you heard about this new game or this new show? They all went home, watched it. And then immediately, within a week, we had set up a Pokemon club where all of the boys would fight over who gets to be Ash, while me, the girl, guess who she got to be?
Pikachu.
Pikachu,
right.
Obviously. Pikachu.
No, it was not Pikachu.
You were Pidgeotto.
No. I was Misty
Magikarp.
because I was the girl.
Okay.
Bulbasaur.
You could have been Jessie.
No, because
Could have been Officer
was,
Jenny.
As far as I'm concerned, she was grown, and I would never be a cop, Alex.
Okay.
Yeah. Pokemon Blue and Red was special. That specialness has not translated to other Pokemon titles. So yeah,
I would stand up for Gold and Silver as being special, but that's conversation for another time. For right now, I'd like to know where we're ranking it on this list.
I just want to add really quick that I often have thought that if I grew up in an era with computers, I might the person that I grew up to be might be more appealing to me. Not that I don't like myself, but you know what I mean? I feel like that could have done some interesting things to me that I would have liked. And I feel that way about Pokemon as well. I feel like if I was the exact right age for Pokemon, that would have enriched me in ways that I don't have.
It might have just given you different obsessions or something.
That's fine. But I don't know. I feel like the communal, I feel like Pokemon is something that's worth it. I think that my generation version of that is Ninja Turtles, and I don't give a damn about Ninja Turtles anymore. Who cares? It's just some cartoon I watched when I was a kid. But Pokemon is something that actually kind of evolved with you.
Yes.
And I do feel like I missed that, and I think that would have been cool. And I would nominate that game for 1 or 2 based on that.
1 or 2.
Wow.
Above Phoenix Wright, I'm okay with that. Brandon, how do you feel?
I think Pokemon's all right.
Okay, I didn't think y'all would rate it that high.
I mean,
put it.
I wouldn't personally put it that high, but I don't mind. So we could put it
Where
there too
would
if we
you
want.
put it? Because I don't think I would put it that high either.
Oh.
I would put it. I would personally probably put it either above or below Mario 3.
I was gonna put it below Mario 3, so I'm good with that.
Okay. Frank's okay with that, so that's where we'll put it. Brandon, take us to the end of round 2.
All right. What do I want to do next? Okay. I don't know. I'll just do these in the order I wrote them. My dad.
Hey.
Military madness. Oh, by the way, what I'm doing here is I chose because I like to give myself a little extra thing. I chose people from different aspects of my life, each person. So I have
That's
my
really
partner.
good. I was hoping you'd do something like that.
Yeah, I have my dad, one relative, so that's my dad. I have a former coworker. I have a former insert credit contributor, which is slightly cheating. I have a high school friend, a college friend, and a current coworker. So that's what I'm doing.
It's a good list.
So my dad, Military Madness. He liked this game. Military Madness is a classic example of Hudson on the TurboGrafx, which is essentially taking something that Nintendo did that was popular and then one-upping it very slightly, polishing some aspects of it and making other aspects weirder because they were doing it faster and cheaper. So it still has rough edges. In this case, they took a tactics strategy game and made it hex-oriented. They put it on the moon. But my dad liked strategy. And it reminded him of like tabletop war games because of the hex grid, and he likes playing against the computer. We even played 2-player a couple times, but it took way too long, so we didn't do that very much. It's very much a Famicom Wars Plus, but I really like it. And when I was going through his stuff, when we were cleaning out his storage space and garage and things. I found 4 Game Boy Advances and 4 copies of Advance Wars because he liked Military Madness enough that he was like, I want to play that, but I want to play it in bed. And I was
That's
like, well,
amazing.
the closest game is Advance Wars. And so he just kept I know what happened is whenever he saw a Game Boy Advance or a copy of Advance Wars at a thrift store or something, he just bought it because he couldn't remember where the last one was. But he had like one next to his bed with the cartridge in there, and he'd been playing that. So that's the one.
Great.
Military Madness. I don't know if anybody else has played that game, and it's fine if not.
I've played Advance Wars. I haven't played Military Madness.
I played Advance Wars, and I didn't like Advance Wars.
Military Madness is 1989. Famicom Wars was 1988. So it was like a real fast follow of that concept.
They love doing that. They love doing like Newtopia. It's just like Zelda, but a little more.
Yeah, Zelda, but a little more, and then we messed up these 5 parts.
Yeah.
And I love that. So, and that's very much like informing the kind of game that I like and liked back then. You know, I think my dad had the same brain problem as me, where like, so my dad he played arcade games in the 70s. And then when home console games came around, he didn't really mess with them too much. But then when I started getting into it, he was getting back into it and paying attention to it. And so like with the he played the Jaguar, he played the TurboGrafx, and when I'm saying he has the same brain disease as me, he's like, oh, this one is less popular. That must mean it's the best one. was his.
Yeah. You get it honest. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know that informed a lot of my
everything
playing
everything.
games. Yeah. Just the whole.
That's
the whole
time. Where are we putting Military Madness?
Good question.
Bottom, dude.
It can be at the bottom. It's fine. I like it more than Miss Pac-Man myself.
I also like it more than Miss Pac-Man.
Then put it above Miss Pac-Man.
Then let's put it above Miss Pac-Man.
We can do that. Yes, I'm okay with that.
Miss Pac-Man is cool though, and I do have more memories of Miss Pac-Man Genesis than I do of Military Madness. So I don't know. I think it's below Miss Pac-Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Okay. All right.
This is about a like memory reflection kind of thing. It's like that's also a game I played with my cousin.
Oh man,
and enjoyed.
In that case, all my games are going to be at the bottom.
Okay.
We're going for it, except for 2 of them.
So
it's not a criteria. I'm just we improvise this as we go. Yeah.
Before we go on to the next round, I just want to shout out my parents. My mom's favorite game when I was little was Tetris. Her favorite game now is Spelling Bee.
Nice.
My dad's favorite game was Sub Hunt on the Palm Pilot, and his favorite game to watch me play was The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Cool.
So just shout out to my parents.
Hey, chat. What is it like to have parents that play video games and like them? Because I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah, those were the only two.
I knew for a minute.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, like a lot of kids, or even like 20-year-olds today, their parents played video games a lot.
Yeah,
that's weird, but it's true. Like
if you're Gen Z and listening to this, your parents probably knew what probably know Sonic.
Yeah, they met Sonic.
Yeah, they met Sonic.
And, something I do want to say real quick is that my mom's actual other video game that she played was an Atari 2600 game called Circus, but I didn't want to talk about that.
No, we don't talk.
That's fair. Circus is fine.
No, we're not listing clowns today.
No.
Frank, top of round 3.
All right. I'm gonna go with so my mixture of things was like I kind of had like spread it across like family, colleagues, and then I just kind of went through like the people I had most recently sort of texted or Discord DM'd with, and that was my criteria, and I thought that was an interesting microcosm of like who I'm close to right now in this moment, right?
Makes sense.
Explains why you didn't ask me, I guess.
I didn't. That's true.
Interesting.
I told you I didn't want to make a thing out of it. Like I could have asked everyone here, and that would have been kind of funny, but then I just didn't. No, I didn't ask you, Alex Jaffe, but my next nomination comes from my friend Esper Quinn.
Oh, fuck you!
Blasted.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
There we go.
Oh, you got me.
It's all coming
Esper
together.
said Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but that didn't work.
No, do it again. Put it on the list again.
Yeah.
No, I got an alternate from Esper. But it would be funny to have Sonic 2 do different spots.
Let's just do that.
No. Sonic 2 is also on my list, but I have an alternate.
Oh,
so I won't
it's
say
not
that.
on my list.
Wait, what if it's on
Believe
it
or not.
3 times? That
It's not
sounds
mine.
fun.
There's a really funny bit in Joe Perra's podcast where every time he has someone on, he asks them what their favorite comfort movie is. And no matter who they are, they say it's The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. And that's what I'm feeling like right now.
But the alternate from Esper was Final Fantasy VII.
Final
Fantasy
VII.
VII.
I've heard of that.
Oh, a boo. There's a boo from the crowd. Wow.
Yeah. I can hear Phil losing his mind in the background right now.
He went home.
He
He's
went
still
home.
sick from MagFest, so he went home.
So it must be his ghost.
He's not with us presently, but in the mortal realm, as far as I know, he's still with us. Final Fantasy VII was a very big deal, I think, when it came out in a way that maybe we haven't talked about, right? Where like the marketing for that game made it feel like we just jumped about 6 generations of video games.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we have talked about it, but it definitely did. It definitely did do that. The CG, the commercial that was just like going around Midgar or whatever, and with the CG, you're just like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's happening. And also, me with a Saturn, who was like a big 2D defender and everything, and I was like, Saturn's the best, PlayStation's stupid. And I saw that and I was like, uh-oh. I lost, and maybe I made the wrong decision. I didn't, though. I was right.
It kind of felt infinite based on the marketing. It's a game, I don't know that I'd
do anything.
ever done this before, but, well, no, I must have. But I remember like going to the store and just looking at the strategy guide to try to like wrap my head around what I was seeing with this thing, because it just felt like something that was very new to the world. But I've never, I shouldn't say never. I did once play the original. I don't think I got through the first disc, but I kind of tinkered with the first for I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, something like that. But remake's really the one that I actually played. So I don't know that I'm really prepared to talk about this other than sort of historical context and vibes.
I am.
But okay. But let me just say real quick that I think that I think it's still interesting to look back at sort of the environmentalism of this game. I think is interesting. Again, I've only played Remake, right? But like seeing like screenshots and things of like where it goes from there, it just feels like there's about 12 games crammed into this game.
There you are.
That's kind of fun. I think Cloud and Sephiroth are good characters because they're very like kind of meme worthy, as are most of the other characters. They're very memorable cast. You know, I like RPGs. I don't know, maybe that's a silly thing to say, but it's an RPG. It's one of them, and it works. And I'm going to kick it over to Ash Parrish because she is like leaning forward. If you're not watching the video, she's like leaning in.
Yeah.
She is ready.
Yeah, I played this game, the original, like several times. And you know, I'm the Final Fantasy girly on the podcast. I have never had the same esteem for Final Fantasy VII the same way other folks have because I played Final Fantasy VIII first. That got in first. The primacy effect is king. Final Fantasy VIII did things. I hate that Phil is not here. Final Fantasy VIII did things better, I think, than Final Fantasy VII did. So when I went back to 7 after having played 8, I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is stupid. And it was it was purely on the fact that the graphics between 8 and 7, like, you know, what's the, like, there's 2 years, right? Probably not even between the release of 7 and the release of 8. But the fact that you went from 7 with, you know, these blocky characters with, like, you know, they've got little pogos and fists for hands that don't have like fingers or anything.
Yeah, a bunch of little rectangles and stuff.
Yeah, and Final Fantasy VIII had like full rendered human bodies and the better cutscenes, and oh my god! I mean, the moment when Squall cuts open the thing that
you are talking about a different game.
I am. Damn it! I don't care. It's so, like, that cutscene is so much better.
Ash, are you trying to veto Frank's Final Fantasy VII in favor of nominating Final Fantasy VIII?
Are you trying to veto the existence of Esper Quinn?
No, of course not. I love Esper Quinn, and she.
I'm going to shout out Esper in the chat right now, who just said Final Fantasy VIII did everything better than 7, except look as good, or sound as good, or play as good, or have as good of a story or characters. Other than that, I totally agree.
Wow. None of this is true. But no, to talk about Final Fantasy VIII or 7, I did everything in that game. I bred chocobos. I was around when, you know, Sephiroth is my bishi. You know, that kind of shit. Like, and I appreciate 7, especially for what it did with Barrett. I wrote a piece for Kotaku a long time ago that Final Fantasy has always been really good as an example of Black fatherhood of all things, which comes at a weird, which is really weird because we have this example or this stereotype of Black fatherhood in America where they're like absentee parents, where this suggestion or the studies show that they're actually more engaged than other races of parents, but that's neither here nor there. Barrett as a character, like this eco warrior that's caring for this kid, like, you know, that's awesome. Yeah, like Final Fantasy VII, I understand why. It was also, I think, it had 3 discs, and I had come from Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy IX, which had 4 discs, and so I thought it was weird that Final Fantasy VII had 3 discs.
Not enough discs.
What a ripoff!
You need more discs.
Exactly. I had the perception that I was getting ripped off. So, like, this game is inferior every which freaking way. And, you know, we can fight about the story. We can fight about the gameplay mechanics or whatever. I understand it's a special game. It's fine.
I should get something in here quick about it before we move on. Just a real short one.
Just for parody.
I got to the end of disc 2 twice, and I just never finished it. And something always stopped me. But what I will say about it is the intro is really good. It gets you in playing faster than most RPGs even today. The tutorial is baked into you playing it, which is very smart.
Yeah, the reactor core sequence is great.
Yeah, the story is engaging and much more so and more cinematically than games prior to it. And the last thing that I would say about it is I forgot.
Great. Where are we ranking it?
What bounced me was, like, I found the dialogue incomprehensible at times. I had no idea what was going on. And just the dialogue in general, just walking around talking to people. It's like, I don't know what any of this means.
I remembered my thing.
Okay.
which is just that. Oh my god, I forgot again. So
Where are we ranking this thing?
I am ranking it. I think it'd be fun to put it below Pokemon Red.
Wait, no. It comes to the story thing. It's the story thing. When I played Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, which was a
the better game.
PSP game that like dealt with things surrounding what happened there, and you were playing as some of the other guys and whatever. I was massively surprised because it was like 15 years later, something like that. Not quite. I was surprised how much I remembered. Like they were referencing things, and I was like, I remember this. Like if you had asked me things about the story, I wouldn't have been able to tell you. But when they came up in passing, I was like, that's right.
The game evokes it.
So it actually
like a sense
it got
memory.
in there, even though I couldn't remember it twice. It did get in there. So I think that's something I could say about it.
A Crisis Core memory, if you will. Where
right.
are we ranking this thing?
Below Red for me, just because it's funny.
I agree.
Sure.
That's fine.
Okay.
Great.
Final Fantasy VII. Frank's best friend, I guess, Esper Quinn.
That's right. Put best in the show notes, please.
Oh, well. Ash, it's down to you.
This game comes from one of my very good friends who was also on the podcast some time ago, Will Harrison. His game is World of Warcraft.
Oh, no shit. The guy with the
yeah.
World of Warcraft podcast.
Yeah, no shit. Wow. Yeah, exactly. Wow. What can I say about that game? I had never played an MMO. Like I had played the free-to-play Korean MMOs before I discovered World of Warcraft. But World of Warcraft just hit me like a bomb. Like that just completely took over my life. Like I was not a PC gamer really, outside of like the little games that my mom's boyfriend like had burned on, these discs, and that I would play on our PC at home. They weren't connected to the internet, that's for sure. And playing World of Warcraft, wow, like God, I did not know video games could be like that. That was just so far and away different than anything that I had ever experienced at that time. And it took over my life in some ways, not even the healthiest ways. Like I discovered World of Warcraft while I was at school at Purdue University. And part of the reason why I have a degree from Cleveland State is because, and not Purdue University, is because I ruined my shit raiding in Burning Crusade. And raiding, that was like a premier gaming experience that I have not experienced again. Just the idea of getting together with 40, or by Karazhan's point, I don't actually remember how many people were in those raids. I want to say 10, but I feel like that's too low. Raiding Karazhan for the first time, coordinating with these people, talking over Vent. Who remembers that? Listening to like your raid leaders shout out directions, like this concert, this dance of moving to different places, making sure that you're doing what you need to do, and you need to like get out and come in and don't stand in the fire. Just all of these random people listening to this random person performing all of these actions and concerts to achieve a specific goal. Nothing like it in life. And I ruined my time at Purdue on that game because I call that my hikikomori phase, where I was so anxious and overloaded from being in college for the first time and having undiagnosed ADHD and not understanding how to handle myself in this new environment of self-guided learning that I completely rejected the idea, stayed in my dorm all day and played World of Warcraft. And that's why I'm here. Yeah, like I used to work in anybody who goes to Purdue University, I used to work in the Eli Lilly science building. I had keys to the building because I worked for a professor, and I would help him with his science experiments involving snail parasites. And I would work in the library, and I would sit at the circulation desk, and I would be on the World of Warcraft forums every day. My main was a warlock, an affliction warlock. Thank you very much. I have pretty much never respect out of that. Affliction warlock is my favorite. I still have her. I still log into that game and play every now and again. I love that game. It's a great game.
Human?
Oh, of course. I am a human for a very specific reason, is because humans are the only characters when I started playing that you could be black.
Oh.
Yes, you could be like African Black. Like they do the stuff with the orcs and the trolls about they are African influenced. I didn't like that idea that the only way that I could have like Black culture was to be this ugly, monstrous thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have to be a human. So I am a human warlock. I've
Makes
had that
sense.
character for over a decade.
Anyone else play WoW?
I have things to say about it. So it's the kind of game that I really don't like to play. It's very like micromanagey, but also playing with people online, two of my least favorite things. And World of Warcraft is a great thing that you can use to ruin a relationship in like 2002 to right whenever it came out until like 2010 or something. Then maybe that stopped. But I have a deep personal grudge against World of Warcraft, but also I don't like MMOs. So that's how I feel about World of Warcraft.
It is not a game for me, but
I'm glad people like it.
I think it serves. So this was actually on my list as well. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know.
Interesting. I wonder if there was somebody else you could ask for another recommendation.
So what's really funny
you would
is
have said Pokemon Red.
I do have a backup that's very funny for this person.
Right.
So it's a game that I really didn't want to put on this list, but we're going to. It's very insert credit. But anyway, my wife Amanda has been playing World of Warcraft since like day one, basically. And not all the time, but for her, it's something that when she needs to unwind, it's just always there.
Mm-hmm.
And like the older I get, the more I understand how valuable that is. You know, like we're all just dumb animals that need to be calmed down. And it just works so well on her. She just spent this weekend doing something. I don't know. She told me about it, and
if she was probably like setting
Doing
up
a raid?
her house.
No, she was like, if I do these things, I get this title.
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
I heard a lot about that.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, it's like the one title. She's like, no, I have 6 others. Like, oh, and cool.
All right.
Finish your thought.
Well, all I'm getting at is that I actually like really respect and appreciate this game that I've literally never played or ever will play, because it does seem to offer a really valuable service to people. It's a comfort blanket that has stayed fresh somehow. You know, like they keep adding things that keep, at least for Amanda, compelling her to jump back in once in a while. Or, you know, another thing too is like it's a way for her to reconnect with friends. You know, like she has some friends that you know, she maybe doesn't talk to as much as she would like to, but a really good excuse is to be like, hey, do you want to play WoW? And it's just like so immediate that they're almost always like, hell yeah, let's go. And that's really cool. So
It's also neat that it Classic still runs like on a potato computer. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. I'll say my last, like my vivid memory of World of Warcraft is the music of Elwyn Forest. Oh, I talked about World of Warcraft at the top, but World of Warcraft also enabled my worst tendencies as a gamer. So that's like damage meters and you know, I did it before it was cool. And one of the things that I like saying about World of Warcraft, like I did it before it was cool, before they made getting mounts so easy. Like you used to have to do quests to get specific mounts, especially if you were a paladin or a warlock, and the warlock had the fiery like steed or whatever. And I hold it as a badge of pride that I got my dread steed, like one of the very last warlocks to get her dread steed before they changed that quest line. So you didn't have to go to like Dire Maul or anything like that and fight a monster for the specific steed or whatever. So yeah, that's me. I was that bitch. So
I heard a lot of stories like that. So it feels like that's something that just happens in that game. You're like, I got to do this before it's gone. And then, yeah.
I had to work. I had to go to Dire Mall, and that's how I got my dress.
And that's why we shouldn't cancel student loans, because we paid off ours. Where do we put World of Warcraft?
And this might sound crazy, but my vibes right now say it's at the top of the list.
Really?
I was going to put it under Sonic 2.
Yeah.
No kidding.
No.
Yeah.
Ash is winning.
Brandon, do you have a counter argument here?
I mean, it's the bottom for me. We'd have to do something because
Yeah.
it can't.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to compromise with 2/3 of the way up the list.
All right.
So I think we're going to put it between Pokemon and Super Mario Brothers.
That seems
All right.
Yeah,
if
that's
Brandon
better.
brings down the average.
Yeah, I'm bringing it.
Yeah. Brandon, bring us to the end of round 3.
Okay, I'm doing it in this order now because I guess it would have been funnier if I went in Ash's place. But anyway, Final Fantasy VI.
Nice.
Yeah. This is my high school friend, Scott Millette. He and I were in the anime club together.
That's the good one.
I did not have very many friends that played video games, and certainly very few of my friends from that time continued to play to the extent that I did. Nobody went down the weird path, I guess. I had a lot of people who became regular. Scott's like a lawyer and stuff. He's just like he's got 2 kids. He's a regular guy. Final Fantasy VI was the one for him. I guess the moment that really hit for him was he told me the world ending and finding your party post destruction blew my mind when it happened. I never beat Final Fantasy VI either, but it's got nice music. It really showed what you could do on that Super Nintendo.
I was gonna say that was the not my personal, but like if you were a Super Nintendo person, that was such a good like argument in the console wars.
Yeah. You point at it, you're
there's
like,
nothing like this on Genesis.
Any of the rest of you gonna do this? No,
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah.
Like even just the like opening sequence and stuff, you're just like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. So it's pretty good. Suplex a train, etc.
Yeah.
Has a bunch of characters in it and whatnot.
A cast of
But
thousands.
I don't have that much to say about it.
The thing
I mean, but we've all said so much about it already. It's like
I know.
I can say some things about Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI was a real life raft to me at a time when I was cut off from the rest of the world during my year in Israel. I had a port of it on the Game Boy Advance, and I played the opening several hours of that game over and over again because I kept like, no, I want to do that part better, which was kind of a thing with me in video games that I could where like, especially in these linear RPGs, like I'm kind of regret a choice I made. I didn't get out of this area without getting everything I needed. And just like when I finally got past the part that I kept bottlenecking at, it just felt like a huge open world to me. And it was a very open experience in a time I felt very confined, and that's why Final Fantasy VI is my one.
That's neat.
Yeah,
it is neat.
I asked my friend Alex Jaffe what his favorite video game was, and
nice. What was the name of your anime club friend again? Sorry,
Scott Millette.
Scott Millette.
You can just say Scott.
Scott.
Our anime club was called Chim Chim's Playhouse, by the way.
Was this in college? Oh no, this was high school.
High school.
What did you watch?
Oh boy! So we watched like Record of Lodoss War. We're talking about 1996-7 year.
Yeah, that I'm very curious as to what the anime clubs in 1990 whatever.
Yeah, so we watched that kind of stuff. But also we had my other friend Sean Reed, and he was a problem all the time. So he brought in once La Blue Girl.
Oh no.
So that's some tentacle pornography for the uninitiated.
Which of these guys was Newt from Demon School? Because I know it was one of them.
Oh, Newt's basically me. but actually, Newt is me and Scott Millette. It's true.
There you go.
It's true. Yeah, it is funny that in high school the anime club was formed by me and my 2 black friends.
Yeah,
Black people love anime.
It's true.
I don't know what to tell you.
But Scott's a cool guy. He and I've been, we've obviously been friends since high schole. He drove an Acura Integra, which was very fast, moddable Honda. Acura, but Honda car, and that I was all into big American muscle cars, and it was his Integra that convinced me that maybe I should switch over to imports, as we called them at the time. And now I've been Honda Prelude for life since then.
And that's when you got a PC engine. Anyway.
That's when I got a PC engine. But it's I remember being in his car, and we were driving somewhere, and he had actually Record of Lodoss War TV theme playing on his CD player, and his CD player had these little LED dolphins that jumped and made little splashes. And I was like, wow, the future is here. This is amazing on his CD player in his car. Anyway.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VI.
Final Fantasy VI, where are we putting it?
Anybody else have things? Okay, no, we can.
I do have things. I just appreciate how Final Fantasy, the people at I think it should have been SquareSoft at this point, went to Kojima. Oh God, Nobuo Uematsu, who very much wanted to write an opera and said cook, and so he wrote 2 of them bitches: the actual opera event and fucking Dancing Mad.
Dancing Mad.
God bless.
God bless.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, love that soundtrack. You can hear a little bit of One Winged Angel in like the second movement to Dancing Mad. It's pretty cool.
So great.
Where do you want to put this?
I'm gonna put it under Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Wow. For me, I have a hard time putting it above 7, but also it feels weird putting it that low. So that's where I'm struggling. I think 7's a more interesting game.
I would also argue for 7 over 6, but also that that 6 shouldn't be that low.
Right. Yeah. We both have the same problem.
I said what I said.
I think we need to bump 7 up.
Okay.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's.
I think 7's above WoW for me.
Okay.
That's exactly where I was going to put it too.
Yep. And then we're going to put 6 above Miss Pac-Man.
Okay. I don't know about that.
Okay.
No,
all right. Above Pokemon. Above Pokemon.
No, move 7 where you wanted to put it, and then put 6 right above it.
I like that.
Oh,
above it?
Above 7?
We're saying below.
Right below it.
You're unfortunately overruled on the above or below.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with it being right below 7.
I don't like it below
there.
World of Warcraft, above World of Warcraft, but
Okay.
I can be at peace with it.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's
I
what
put it
we're
under
doing.
World of Warcraft.
Over World of Warcraft. Yeah.
Under.
World of Warcraft.
Oh.
So 7 over and then 6 under?
Yeah.
That's fine. That works for me.
That's apparently what we're doing.
All right. That's the end of round 3. Let's take a quick break.
But am I hearing my pal Esper in the background?
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
My best friend Frank over here.
Yeah. Hey, friend.
Thanks for representing and getting my game pushed up higher.
Yeah.
The game that I made, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Welcome back to Insert Credit Annual number 7, where we are determining this year's official best game of all time.
It's called Annual 7 because of Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, that's why it had to be on this list. Otherwise, it wouldn't have qualified. Frank, you're up next.
Oh, I am. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go. I like the path of this person, so I'm going to spell this out. I'm going to go with former insert credit guest that became VGHF volunteer that became pal, Lucy James. I asked Lucy on Discord, what's your favorite game? And she immediately said Mass Effect 2.
Interesting.
I didn't ask why. I just said sick, thanks. So I don't really have any insight into why she likes that game. But let's see. I can go with my own experience, or I can make Ash talk a lot. My understanding of the appeal of the Mass Effect games is the persistent relationships that occur mostly between games is kind of like the thing, like the and this is something that maybe is still unique, but definitely felt unique to me at the time, that there were these 3 like really substantial games that were, separated out over years, that you could build like a lasting relationships with characters. And that's a really interesting concept for some people. I think that's cool. It's kind of like World of Warcraft, where it's just like, that's not for me. I don't care. But like, I think that's neat. I think it's really interesting. I think it provides something of value that a lot of other games don't. What I liked about the game, having played maybe 2 hours, was I bought the trilogy. I played the first one, and I really tried to like get through it, but it just kind of felt like I was doing a lot of the same stuff. It just felt a little bit grindy to me to play the first Mass Effect, and it was kind of my Christmas game. I think I was like, I'm gonna play all 3 of these, but I was just like, what if I just skipped to 2? And because it's like, I liked the parts where I was walking around Star Trek planets talking diplomacy and stuff like that. And I'm like, maybe 2 is more of that, right? And it was. And it immediately put me in like a giant space mall that had a really good joke, like the recurring joke of I'm Commander Shepard, and I don't remember.
This is my favorite store in the
I'm
Citadel.
Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
That's so good.
I do want to bring something up that there is this absolutely insane thing in Mass Effect 2 where if you did not play Mass Effect 1, it kind of punishes you for it by giving you a mixture of results of like things you would have done as a good guy or a bad guy that no person would have conceivably picked. Just going through one path or the other, just like an insane illogical mishmash of choices not representing any human player. So like if you go to that without the save data of 1, they let you know you're playing it wrong.
Frank, did you like me basically last a little bit past when you had to leave the space station and then be like, I want to do something else?
Yes,
that's
correct.
what happened.
Yeah,
absolutely,
100%.
That was my experience as well. I was in the space station, and then they made me leave.
We wanted it to be a hangout game.
Yes,
exactly.
Right.
And instead of that, it's an RPG. It's not a hangout game.
Yeah. So,
Ash, what are your thoughts?
Ash, I saw you. For those not watching the video, you were nodding a lot when I was describing
you're making a lot
the appeal
of
these games is the
kinds
lasting opinions.
If you've never played
relationships, sorry.
Yeah, the relationships persisting between games, I don't think I've ever seen before. BioWare games are very special to me for a host of different reasons.
Suikoden kind of did it. Suikoden and Suikoden 2 did some carryover, but anyway.
Suikoden.
If you are not a fan of Mass Effect already and you are interested in this game, don't start with 1. I'm sorry, there's going to be people who disagree with that, but 1 is a very CRPG experience.
Yeah, it is.
It's very crunchy. 2 is way more streamlined, and it is the better
unlike
experience.
That driving around in the stupid car.
Driving around in the stupid car really wasn't that bad, but
I liked driving around in the stupid car.
I didn't like it.
I think that
I didn't like the
element of exploration is
either.
much better in Mass Effect 2. I am a weird person such that my favorite thing to do across all 3 games that was like really the most perfect experience in 2 is planet scanning of all fucking things, because I'm a freak. I love a codex. The thing about Mass Effect, it's a voiced
you
codex.
Is lovely because you're dutiful.
That's my joke. I think it's easy because you're dutiful. Is what I was doing. Yeah, that little robot you had to scan. That was my song.
The voiced codex, like talking about all these different societies and how they work in this like new.
Oh yeah, you like that kind of stuff. You're
love
like, give
that
me
shit.
lore.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like space. Like
One day Ash is going to find out about books and it's going to blow her mind.
Right? I love space. So the idea that all of these planets you can scan, even if you couldn't like go down and like, walk around on them, but they had like all of the stat sheet, like this is the material that its core is made out of. This is its atmosphere. This is how big it is. This is what the planet is used for economically. That shit, I could do that for hours. It's so good. Like Mass Effect 2 is the platonic ideal of a codex.
You've mentioned this, and it's wild to me. I'm really glad that there are people like that, because people writing that flavor text out there, they're like, nobody's ever going to read this.
I love that shit. Like, oh my God, all day. Start with Mass Effect 2. It makes me sad that you guys didn't like play through the whole game, because it really is so good. Like,
I just want to walk through the space malls.
I don't think it would have presented itself that way to either one of us, unfortunately.
Everything about that game was like so perfectly done. The first opening scene with the Normandy, Normandy being a character in and of herself. Oh my God, those companions are perfect. And I can't just talk. The suicide mission, like everything from the Normandy getting attacked to putting you through the suicide mission. So like the putting you on the path for the climax of the game, because after a certain point, the game like says, okay, stop. You have to go to the end right now. And if you don't, your people are going to die. Just the kind of stakes that it builds into the game, because, the whole idea is that you are this, this hero who dies and is brought back to life by this evil corporation that, is funding you to either investigate these things and whatever, because whatever. But after we have to assemble a team. Like, it's a heist movie essentially, but like with some of the things changed around. And you have to recruit a team, you have to train them to get them up to this level. And then depending on if you've, done their special personal quests or whatever, if they're loyal to you, that impacts like whether or not they survive this suicide mission that they tell you up front. This is a suicide mission. Your ass better be ready. And if you show up to that bitch not ready, people fucking die. It's perfect. And I wish
so it's a game about the importance of loyalty. It's Donald Trump's favorite video game.
Nice.
Don't ever say that in my presence again.
Okay.
Just wow. Perfect music, perfect story cadence. The things that happen to your companions feel real. If you, more than any other game, I think Mass Effect makes you feel like your choices matter and that you literally are Commander Shepard. And the choices that you make
It's definitely the game that makes me feel the most like I'm Commander Shepard. Most games don't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's probably the only one.
It's one of the only games that makes you like
really. It's one
not
of three.
That you are inhabiting a pixelated avatar, but you literally are this person.
Yeah. When Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction said, "I'm trying real hard to be the Shepherd," we should have given him a copy of Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, it made it easier.
I don't know if this is like, I'm remembering it wrong or I played it wrong, but my thing with what I experienced of those two games, and I actually started 3 just to see it too. It almost feels like it doesn't know if it's an RPG or like an action game with set pieces, like in levels.
Yeah.
And,
I got you. Yeah.
And I mean, maybe I shouldn't just compare everything to things I already know, but like,
well, that's the human in you.
I'm replaying Fallout New Vegas, and what I love about that game is that everything actually feels connected. It feels like there's almost no filler in the game. Like everything has a function and a purpose, and when there's lore, it's literally related to the thing you're doing right now, and it fills in those gaps as opposed to just being like, isn't this interesting, this thing that's way over here, and like that's how I felt about Mass Effect. Was like it's the suggestion, you know what I mean, of a connected world, but not actually a connected world. It's just like a set of levels connected by a fast travel, and that's how it felt to me.
And the thing that I would say about feeling like Captain Shepard is that was one of the reasons that I stopped playing, is because I did not Commander Shepard, whatever. I did not feel like Commander Shepard at all, because for every dialogue choice, I was like, which of these two things that I would not say shall I choose? And
you're going to get that problem with any of those kinds of choice games.
But that is going to make me not feel like Commander Shepard. You know what I mean? Like if you're making me choose what this that makes it this guy, not me. Like it's that guy over there who would say these things, because I would not say either one.
And the last thing I'll say about Mass Effect 2 is that it's so much an improvement over Mass Effect 1 for a lot of different things. And one of those things is the Paragon Renegade system. So if you don't know, you have these choices that are good or
that was the main thing.
Evil?
Yeah, and one was just like, do you want to save a child or murder
save the child, harvest
they
the
were
child.
very, very basic and goofy, and it didn't work for me.
Whatever, but like, most people would, I'm full Paragon or I'm a full Renegade. But the thing that Mass Effect 2 did that was different, that was great, is that you had these choices that affected, Paragon or Renegade, but you also had these things called interrupts, which were just like actions that you could do. And the great thing about that is, like, I'm a Paragon player. I can't be a mean person, but there were absolutely Renegade interrupts that are like burned into my head that are like, yeah, I would do that. So like one of the Renegade interrupts is like you're talking with these Krogan, and they're like super aggro and whatever, and they're like, we're gonna kill you, and then you see this like thing flash up for a Renegade interrupt where they're standing on these like oil tankers or whatever, and Shepard just whips out a pistol and like shoots the thing, and they blow up and they all die. And I'm like, I don't care if you're a full Paragon, Commander Shepard does that shit every time, because it, A, rule of cool, B, absolutely necessary.
I feel like that's a payoff of like a thing they showed us in the first trailer of Mass Effect 1, where like it blew everyone's mind that he could interrupt someone else while they were speaking. And they're like, oh, let's actually make that part of the game. Okay, where I have other things to say about Mass Effect, but maybe we'll do it another time. Where are we going to rank this thing?
Under Super Mario Bros. 3.
Wow. So above 7. Final Fantasy 7.
Above Final Fantasy 7.
That's correct to me.
It is more interesting. It has more stuff. It feels wrong, but only because of the impact of 7 at the time. Is that a good reason? I'm good. I'm good with it.
I like the idea of it putting Esper in her place.
I guess I don't really care.
Wow.
So, I think it can.
All right. We'll put it all the way up there. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Ash, you're up.
Okay, so I'm not gonna do 2 BioWare games back to back. So I'm gonna choose a different one. So this is my alternate for Sonic 2 that I had. My cousin Jason that I talked about with that I played Sonic 2 with. That was the game that I had for him because I'm pretty sure that was his favorite game. I don't know what his favorite game is. I can't ask him, unfortunately. But his alternate then is Dragon Ball Z Budokai.
Oh, baby.
2.
This is a Jaffe game.
Yeah. Oh, good. Because I hope you talk about it then because I only got that game because he liked it.
Yeah.
I was introduced to Dragon Ball Z through him. In case you don't know, I'm Black. So all of my family is also Black.
Right.
Meaning.
Interesting.
If you have a Black male child at a certain age, born in, the late 80s, early 90s, they fucking love Dragon Ball Z. That is almost universal. He was one of those kids. I watched Dragon Ball Z with him in the summer when my mom was working. She would take us to my aunt's house. And that's what we would do. We would go to vacation Bible school at St. Timothy Community Church in Gary, Indiana. And when we got home, we would watch Dragon Ball Z. He loved that show. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it, whatever. But it wasn't for me. I was a Sailor Moon person. I was an Inuyasha person. Like those shows were like contemporaneous to that time. I don't remember exactly when Dragon Ball Z Budokai came out. I want to say it was like 2002.
Yeah, 2002 was the first release.
I thought you were the one who didn't know years. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know years. I know that year because I know where I was and what I was doing and all that stuff and whatever. I didn't get it when it came out, but I got it for the PlayStation 2 because I knew he would like it. And one of the last memories that I have of playing video games with him before he passed away was in my house, playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai, which goes through like, I think the first couple of arcs of the anime. You've got like the Raditz Saga and the Cell Saga.
Yeah, it goes through the Cell Saga, the first one.
Yeah, like I didn't care about any of that shit. He liked that game. I wanted to play with him. That's what we did. That was man. Oh, I don't want to cry, so I'm not gonna cry. But when you, Jaffe, at the start of the show said, who's your best video game pal, I took it to mean as the person that you play video games with the most.
Yeah.
And I
think
am
that
a
was
solo.
the intention, yes.
I know. I'm a solo person. I typically don't like playing video games with other people. But if I had answered the question like that, I think he would have been the one that I said. And I'm not here. I'm not talking to y'all. I don't do the things that I do now to make a living without him.
Jason.
And Jason, his name is Jason. And there's a part of me that it's not feels bad, but feels bad that I am here doing these things with video games that I would not have done without them, and they're not. So I like to think that the things that I do now are in honor of them because the influence they had on me has so fundamentally transformed my life for the better. Because before, I had no idea that I would ever be a video game journalist, that I would ever work in video games at all. Like before I decided to come to this, I was working in customer service for a Canadian engineering, thing. Like the idea of talking about video games and making money and making, good money to live on was so far beyond anything that I could ever conceive of, because I grew up in a time where, I'm Black. We can't afford to, have fun careers or whatever because the world is what it is. Right. And it's video games like this. I grew up in a time where video games are like a toy or obscure, like not something that you make a career out of. And the fact that I've been able to do that, and I would not have thought about that at all without them, is so special to me. So whenever I think and look back on my career and the things that I've gotten to do, I always want to hold them close to me because I wouldn't be any of it without them. And Dragon Ball Z Budokai was his game.
Yeah.
I think I beat him. I don't know. I think we were kind of like neck and neck in terms of skill. But yeah. Yeah, Jeffy, please talk about Budokai, and I'm gonna go cry off screen.
I was not a popular child
Nor
because
was I.
I have always been this. And it was very hard for me to relate to other people. And like Dragon Ball Z was the first thing that I was into that other people were also into. And it just like allowed me to form some of like my first friendship. So it's always been kind of an important thing to me. I remember I have this very vivid memory of holding a Vegeta action figure aloft and saying through gritted teeth, I will never stop liking Dragon Ball Z. This is not a thing I will grow out of. I'll be 40 years old and I'll still love this. And I don't think that's true, but I don't think I kept that promise. But Dragon Ball Z Budokai came out during that time. I was super, super into it. And that was like the game where like you could be like, the one that felt like I was so into it that I would play like the ROMs of Japanese only Dragon Ball Z fighting games and like invite people over to my house so we could play them. Like I learned emulators specifically so I could like emulate those like card-based Dragon Ball Z games and the weird fighting games that adapted sagas that were not even out in English yet. And that was the one that was like, oh, it was on a system that people had and we could actually play it with each other. And like, I would write like fan fiction about this stuff and we'd share it with each other. And one of the things you could do in Dragon Ball Z Budokai is set up these like CPU match versus CPU matches and just like have these guys fight each other and see who would win.
Island.
And we would exactly. This is the origins of Violence Island here, Brandon, where we would see like who would win and we would like write little stories about it. And so like the first 3 Budokai games are foundational Jaffe games. So
nice.
I'm very glad you brought it in this episode about connections with other people.
Hey, I want you to remember this, Alex, the next time you have to figure out who your favorite panelist is. Anyway,
I think we all know who my favorite panelist is.
Indeed.
The last thing I'll say about Dragon Ball Z Budokai is that I really liked how it captured the frenetic energy of the fights that you would see in the tournaments.
Yeah.
So they would have these moments where you go like that stuff. It wasn't like a traditional fighter where you're like inputs like quarter circle forward and you punch and then they punch you, but you could also do those like little moments that you would like see in Fist of the North Star or whatever. And I thought that was cool.
All right, bottom of the list.
No, absolutely not.
I played it a little bit. It was all right.
Pokemon Red.
I'm okay with that.
Played it a little. It's all right. Okay. I didn't play it at all. My only contribution is watched the original Dragon Ball and was delighted and was so excited to watch more of it with Z and just could not.
It's a different vibe. It's a different vibe.
Yeah, totally different vibe.
No.
Yeah.
I will say Super brings back some of that Dragon Ball feeling weirdly.
I played most of I played a lot of those Dragon Ball games for about 30 minutes just to see how they dealt with characters getting far away and close together because I was interested in that particularly and how they would do split screen, somebody being way up high, somebody being way down low, but I never really got into them.
All right. So everyone okay with it being below Pokemon Red?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Brandon, take us to the end of round 4.
My next one. Man, we're only at the end of round 4, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean we're already at the end of round 4?
I guess I mean that. Well, luckily mine are going to largely be fast because aside from maybe one of them, no one's going to be able to talk them. So this I'm qualifying as former coworker, Christian Nutt, good pal. We still text each other and stuff. He was the first person I asked because I was like, Christian is going to come up with something that I like. And indeed, he was like, well, my favorite game is East Books 1 and 2 on the TurboGrafx. And I'm like, okay. All right.
Okay.
Very good. So this game, I've talked about it a bunch, but it's like the first real deal RPG on a CD for me, even though the first one is actually really Tenkai Makyo. But for me, from my playing experience, the first one that came to the US really is East Books 1 and 2. Felt like you were getting 2 games in one, which was something.
Mm-hmm.
It's got really cool mechanics. I like the bump combat. It's got great, fantastic music, which really felt like. And I think this game was the start of my appreciation of the dissonance between visuals and music, where something can be visually of a certain quality and then sonically of another, which I really liked. And it just captured my imagination when it was new at the time. And I still have paper maps that I drew trying to get through the various mazes and whatnot in there. And I only actually finally beat it like 2 years ago, because there's I forget which part. There's one part that is so maze-like that I could just never figure out where to go. And eventually, after reading multiple guides, I figured out where to do it. But I like that game. I think it's pretty cool. That's the one.
Yeah, I think bump combat's interesting. I actually think.
What does that mean?
That means so like a JRPG, it might become like a turn-based thing. It might like switch screens and stuff. This one, you literally like walk into monsters, and based on the stats,
bump.
Yeah, bump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you literally bump into them, and then based on stats, that's how much damage each of you take.
Yeah.
It's a little sumo.
Yeah, it's a little, I guess, in a
I
way.
actually found, once I had played For the Frog, the Bell Tolls, I actually found that design way more interesting, which is that it's not an RPG where you like can grind and level up and stuff. It's just like the entire world is designed around where your power levels would be at that moment, and it's just like one big puzzle box. I find that more interesting for bump fighting. But
this was kind of the start of it. So
for sure, yeah. I like where it evolved away from ease, is what I'm saying. And so I guess I appreciate ease for starting that. But I don't know. I think it's aesthetically cool. I think that's my favorite thing about ease. Is I like the way it looks and sounds.
Yeah, I agree.
But
it's also a good, like, for people that do like grinding. It is a good grinding game because you can do it with one hand. Not that you need to be distracted doing something else, but like if you're on, it's a great on the phone with your family type of game where you can like be leveling up and grinding away while you're having a call or while somebody else is watching TV or something like that, which it is like every game now, sort of. But
I was going to ask, is there any? It's going to sound rude, but is there any value to this game now? Or is it just like it was cool at the time?
Well, I think visually and sonically, yes. Still,
I agree with that. Actually,
I think that remains there. And then if you mean like,
was there any reason to play it other than like I like old games and it's one of those?
If the thing is sound and visuals, then can you just watch a long play of it?
Nah, I don't think so. It does feel different when you're doing it. And also, I would say the value that you could get is a historical appreciation of mechanics.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's that one. But in terms of like, I'm just gonna sit down and have a blast. I don't think it would do that for someone for the first time right now. But I do think if they played it at any point in their history as a younger person, then yes, it would.
Where are we ranking this?
Yeah, Brandon, I'm going to defer to you.
Oh, geez. Well, yeah. See, this is a problem. I personally would put it right below Sonic 2, but that's me personally, and I don't think that anyone else would want that.
No.
So, right now, in my if I was being like a semi-reasonable person, I would put it below Final Fantasy VII. But that's not that reasonable.
So
that's not reasonable
Pokemon
either.
Red. No, it's not reasonable. It's got to be below Pokemon Red.
Budokai, I will permit.
You will put it above Budokai? I'm okay putting it above Budokai.
Below? No.
Yeah.
Below Budokai?
Oh, okay. All right. I was
Third
willing to
to
give
last?
it to you.
Above.
Okay.
I'm saying above Budokai is where it should be.
That's fine. I was okay. That's fine. That works for me. The only thing I'll say about Ease, I have no experience with this series at all. I'm just glad that it comes in clutch for trivia when you have to name a video game that starts with Y.
That's true.
The Yakuza series really helped with that one.
Yeah, it sure did.
Yep.
For some reason, I would go to Ease first before
I think I would
go to
too.
Yakuza.
Yeah.
I mean, Ash knows it by its Japanese title, Ryu no Gotoku. That's why she doesn't think of it as a Y game.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely, that's not
All right.
at all.
All right, my turn.
Yes.
So, I already said that my wife Amanda's actual game was World of Warcraft, so I'm going to have to bounce back to something I didn't think I'd bring in.
Very exciting.
So we were on the couch, and I explained the homework, and I was just like, so what is your favorite game? And her immediate answer was Kickle Cubicle. And I was like, what?
That's
Kickle
awesome.
Cubicle is an IREM game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And it's
What
real
is
good.
IREM?
It's really good. IREM is a developer, publisher. IREM, IREM.
R-Type, Disaster Report,
Kickle
etc.
Cubicle.
Kickle Cubicle.
I don't know the name of Kickle Cubicle in Japan, but it's not Kickle Cubicle. This is a game that's it's I don't know what you'd call it. It's a Lolo like. It is grid based action puzzle, I guess. Like you have enemies on screen that
it's Meikujima, which means Maze Island.
Yeah,
I like it.
Maze Island, that works for me. It is on the system, it's just a very pleasing looking and sounding game. It feels really good to play. It is something that maybe once a year or so she just fires up and plays through. So it's good for that kind of thing. I'm so that was a conversation. I was like, and I went, oh really? I thought it'd be WoW. And she went, oh yeah, you're right. It's WoW.
Very good.
But
well,
we already did that.
I'm glad Kickle Cubicle's on here.
Yeah, it's
fun.
Like if you're looking at it, it's an insert credit game. That's
that's an insert credit ass game.
I think a lot of people on the forums love
putting that
Kickle Cubicle.
Yeah,
all the maps are fun little shapes.
Yeah, it does some fun sort of level transition animations and stuff like that. You have boss fights within the constraints of the mechanics of this game. I think it's a good choice. So
I'm watching a little bit of footage right now, and I am comfortable putting this at the top of the list.
Wow.
I love this game.
That would be very funny.
I already love this game.
It's a good game. It really is a good game. It's just not one I would ever
Why
think
did
of
they
in
call
like
it
the canon.
that? One wonders.
It's just because in the 80s and 90s, people in charge of American divisions of Japanese companies had no skill or I'm
right,
getting really mean.
But this has like extreme looking around where I am right now to figure out what to call this game.
Yeah. Well, first of all, where'd you get Kickle?
He's like,
right?
he's looking at, he's like shaking his feet because he was
Well, you
was
kick.
worried.
You kick ice
Yeah, you get
blocks
Kickle
in this
because
game.
kicking is the main way you interact with the world.
But
and cubicles are kind of grid based.
Yeah.
But in my thinking of this, the guy's like, he's like, what do we got? And he's looking at his feet and he's shaking his leg because he's nervous and he's like, Kickle. And then he's like, "Where?"
He looks at his cubicle.
I'm in a cubicle. It's a Kickle
Kickle
cubicle.
cubicle. He's Kaiser Soze.
It's perfect.
Okay, where are we putting this? The top?
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
top.
it's not
this cute little thing.
It's
I
not
like this
above
guy.
Mario 3. First
like
of all,
this.
as an NES game.
Put it below Final Fantasy or Mass Effect 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm comfortable putting it below Final Fantasy. What do you think?
You're. I assume we're all referring to 7 as Final Fantasy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there are 2.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
It's fine.
Great.
I love it.
I like that it's above World of Warcraft, her
Yeah, me
actual
too.
favorite game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Well, it's the one she said first.
Yeah, it is.
So
yeah.
it's accurate. Ash time.
Ash time.
Ash time. Okay. All right. I had no thoughts about how I'm sharing these games with you. I'm not doing it in order of like proximity to me or
No, it's fine.
I'm
relationship.
total
It
vibes.
doesn't-
I'm just like,
Yeah.
What's the next one?
I did it in the order I wrote them down. So
Yeah. So the next, I thought I would save the one for my husband for the top, but I don't think that is the play. I'm actually just going to do it now. Because I have no whatever with this game whatsoever. It's just on the list by virtue of the fact it is my husband's favorite game. Contra 3.
Ooh.
Okay.
Interesting.
He
That's a
he
specific-
vacillated very much when I asked him like, what is your favorite game? It was either one of the Visions of Mana games or this or
Alien Wars,
Contra
huh?
3.
Is that the Super Nintendo one?
It is the
I
Super
don't
Nintendo one.
know.
Yes,
I
it is.
wish he
Okay.
was here so he
So it's
could
the Super
explain
Nintendo
it.
one, where you have the stages where it's top down and you
Yes.
rotate the world.
Yes.
Yes.
Contra 3, the Alien
those
Wars.
are
Yes.
special stages, but yeah,
Okay.
Alien Wars.
Got it. Yep.
He did say that if he were to pick his favorite game, it would be on the Super Nintendo. So that works for me.
All right.
tell me about Contra 3 because I don't know shit about he did say that if this is a game that we played together, we would not make it out of the first level because you can like steal lives from your
Yeah, that's true. Well, Contra 3 is the easy one. It's like in my historical knowledge that it was like the easy Contra, and then on the Genesis we had the hard Contra, which was Contra Hardcore.
No, that's just the name of it.
But it is also a lot
harder.
Hey, if you can neg my husband by talking shit about his favorite video game choice, that would make me very happy. So
I don't think
we
I'm
don't
gonna
need to neg
No.
your husband. He played nerdcore rap at your wedding. There's no
think
door
it's,
we can
that.
bring him.
I think of the Contra types on the Super Nintendo, it's probably the best. I mean, it's a small pool, I guess, but
Mhm.
you're supposed to be negging.
well, it is no bloodlines.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not.
I mean, the cool one is hardcore, right? Is that what everybody
oh,
agrees?
that's
Is
what
that
I
the
meant,
Insert
sorry,
Credit opinion?
Castlevania's
Yeah, but
bloodlines.
it's also
Yeah.
no bloodlines.
There's no
um,
bloodlines.
Yeah, but it's true.
No,
Like
I meant hardcore. Yeah.
Konami stuff was just better on the Genesis. That's
It's
just
true.
you know, they just put the
Yeah.
better
I like
stuff
that
on
better.
it.
felt
Your
like-
husband picked
me
the
happy.
bad Contra. Your husband picked the easy Contra.
The easy Contra. It's true.
Weenie Hut Junior Contra.
But I do
Well,
I do like
and
it.
what Brandon's saying is actually true, and it brings up Castlevania 4 as well. Like I feel
Yeah.
like Castlevania 4 and Contra 3 on the Super Nintendo are like they just took the NES games and kind of polished them, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas on the Genesis, they actually made something new and
Right.
exciting with the
Yeah,
franchise.
it feels like on the Genesis they were like, okay, because in Japan this was true. This console's for sickos.
yeah,
So,
time to put the kids to bed.
Let's get the sicko team. You guys go do whatever you're trying to do over there and make your sicko Genesis games.
Yeah.
And then we, the normal, regular adults, shall make the Super Nintendo ones based on our Famicom roots. And that's what they
Sega
did.
does what Nintendo freaking don't. So
Yeah.
you know,
true.
I haven't had a hot take on here in a while. Castlevania
Oh, here
4
we go.
kinda sucks. Castlevania
Play the
4 is
sting.
not good.
Oh, nice.
It's just whatever. It's
Castlevania.
worse
Wow.
than the NES games. It is a
Wow.
tech demo of can we make an NES Castlevania on the Super Nintendo, and then it's like, well, just put some Mode 7 in the background and ship it. Ship
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
prototype.
Castlevania
hurts.
forgettable.
Nice.
Wow.
I will say that we've purchased a mini PC for our living room television so we can like play Steam games and whatever on it. And I did say, let's play some multiplayer games. UFO 50 is on that list, and I'll say Contra 3. It'll be interesting if I survive because we famously do not get along playing co-op games together. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. Love
I
you,
think-
Brandon.
I think you'll
All
do all
right.
right. It's
so
all
bottom
right.
of this
But
one's
it's-
on the bottom of the list, right?
it's an alright game. Nah,
No.
I mean I like it. I think it's good.
I like it too.
I like it. It's just the easier one.
I'll let you decide because
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know anything about this game.
Well, okay, so my personal tastes would put it honestly above Final Fantasy VI, but I don't think that's right in terms of
Yeah.
like this list. So
Right.
I'm somewhere on either end of Budokai is where I am.
Yeah,
I'm
put it
okay
above
with
it.
that.
I put it above it.
Budokai. I'm also okay
No.
with that. No?
Yeah.
Ash, as the person who nominated it, vetoes
Okay.
it. Okay, so let's put
Below Budokai.
below
All right.
Budokai. All right.
That's all right.
I understand not wanting to put that above Jason's game. I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I gotta make sure, I gotta humble him.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
gotta keep him humble. Brandon.
It's me. Okay, I'm gonna do another one that's gonna be quick because only I'm gonna talk about it. Now we have a college friend,
Mm-hmm.
someone that you may know as Vincent Diamante.
Ooh.
Diamante.
Vincenzo Diamante. Vincenzo Diamante.
Yeah. Vincenzo Rifantasio.
Noted Italian Vincent Diamante. He's Filipino, by the way. That's why that's funny. He nominated Puyo Puyo Sun, which was not. It's not my favorite
Wow.
Puyo Puyo. It's a very specific one. It's a very specific Puyo Puyo to recommend, and so no one's going to have anything to say about this. But he was always very good at Puyo Puyo. I've mentioned this many times. He won like some regional championships, and Puyo Puyo 4 is the reason that he and I became friends, kind of, more or less. And that's great. And insert credit wouldn't be here without he and I becoming friends because we started it together.
That's right.
he did all the HTML at first and everything, and we wrote the website together, etc. So Puyo Puyo Sun specifically. So 2 is like the pure Puyo Puyo when it's like really all together. And then Sun is a joke on Sun and San being 3.
Yeah, like son of Puyo Puyo.
Yeah, and like 2 was Puyo Puyo Tsu in Japan because they were making another little pun. But anyway, the Sun's added more complexity to the combos in versus mode. So like somebody's setting up a 6-chain over here, but I have a 4-chain going here, and if I detonate a Sun at the end and I like make that decision quickly, then it's going to beat that 6-chain. And so it like made you have to pay attention to more things in your puzzle chaining. It's a versus puzzle game for people that don't know what Puyo Puyo is. But the Sun could also like fall and block your chains, which can be funny. Like you could be trying to aim for something, and then a Sun, which is supposed to be beneficial, can fall and it can interrupt you and get in the way. And to Vince, he said it felt like it had more character and strategy. And then I was talking to him and being like, yeah, and then I think they took that character stuff like way too far in Puyo Puyo 4, and that's what I like. The one where like it's got a million characters, they're all shrieking at each other, and they all have various levels of super like screen cleaning super moves and stuff that were all of different effectiveness, and some of them were great and some of them were terrible, and so they were like straight up tier lists of which characters you should actually play if you wanted to be competitive. And basically Puyo Puyo 4 was kind of broken Puyo Puyon. But Sun is the one he liked. That's the one he proposed, and we played it on the Saturn. I didn't like it as much, but it's still Puyo Puyo. It's still pretty good. It's it's a shame that the designer of that, he's just like an old man who now works at an old folks home, and he like can't get funding together to make video games and stuff, and he keeps being like, I have a new idea, it's a new puzzle game. He's one of those kind of guys, and he's just like 85 years old and just kind of like putting around Japan trying to be like, look at my new idea. Anyway, Puyo Puyo San, I assume nobody else has played this, is that correct?
Yeah,
I've played Puyo Puyo obviously, but not this one.
Okay, which one did you play?
I have not.
I don't know which one I played. It was a Puyo Puyo game.
Well, because once it gets to Fever, it starts to become like a totally different type of deal. But
I will say that in the grand scheme of things, between like Puyo Puyo and Bubble Bobble, I think Bubble Bobble is better. Just saying. That's just my personal.
Puzzle Bobble. I was
Puzzle
confused.
Bubble, yeah.
It's not called Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobble is the platform one where you're jumping around as little guys.
Oh no, Puzzle
bubbles.
Bobble with the 2 little dragons.
Yeah. It's the same dragon.
I mean, the 2 little dragons are in both, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Where are we putting Puyo Puyo San?
I don't like puzzle games, but I understand that people do. It's a foreign concept to me.
If we put this above Kickle Cubicle, I'm going to shoot everybody.
I was fully accepting that most of my games were going to be games that only I and whoever I talked to had played. So I don't really mind if it goes at the bottom or whatever, because I know
I'm bottom right now, but
it's
just
Military
a personal
Madness?
preference.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
Yeah, I'll play Military Madness. I won't play Puyo Puyo.
Yeah.
I like putting insert credit co-founder Vincent Diamante at the very bottom. That's funny to me.
There he is.
Okay, that brings us to the end of a round. I think it's round 5.
I think it's
Is that
5,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, 2 more to
Yeah,
go.
we got 2 more to go.
Frankie 6 times.
Wait,
That's
there's
what they call
2
you this
more
round.
to go?
I know, yeah. Believe
Wait,
it or not.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I've done 5.
Yes.
So this is round
So this is round 6.
round 6. You said round 5.
We just
Didn't
finished
you?
We
round
just
5.
finished round 5.
Finish round 5. We're on round 6. All right.
Yeah, and then he
here
said
we
Frankie
go.
6 times. Which
Here we
is,
go. I'm going to bring in. Okay, I'm going to save the more interesting one to talk about for last, and I'm going to go with my pal Ian Ferguson.
I know him.
Same situation as Lucy James, where I was just like, "Tell me your favorite game," and he told me. I just went great, and then didn't follow up. And that favorite game is Killer 7 by Capcom.
Ooh, a good
Surprised
one.
to hear that. It's not something I think of as a favorite. It's an interesting game, but I didn't know it was like a game that someone. I guess I could see that, but I don't believe that Ian Ferguson, and you know him as well, Brandon.
Yep.
I don't believe he's like a grasshopper guy. I think he just likes that game. That's my suspicion.
Well, here's the thing. I think
this is a Suda51 joint, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. I think that if you really like Killer 7, then you wind up being a Grasshopper Manufacturer guy just because of that. Like I think it's just in there forever. Like now,
I don't agree because I like Killer 7 and I don't like any other Grasshopper game.
Oh, okay. But I sort of feel like you might be somebody's an anomaly because many folks that I have spoken to, Killer 7 was like their intro to Grasshopper stuff, and then they found things that they liked about the rest of their games because of how much they liked.
For me, it was my
Killer
intro
7.
to Grasshopper stuff, and then I played other Grasshopper stuff and said, "Oh, this is all he's got." And Killer 7 was like the first one for me, and I didn't really feel like he had anything else to say to me. Does that make sense?
It does.
So I don't know if that's true of Ian. I guess I'm trying to speak for Ian, but I've never heard him talk about another Grasshopper game. I don't know.
It would have been funny. Ian Ferguson, by the way, plays a lot of Mahjong games on the PC Engine, and that would have been the very funniest thing to possibly...
If he brought in a Mahjong game.
Yeah, but he didn't do it.
One of my Christmas gifts to him one year was a plug-and-play Famicom Mahjong controller. Just had a Famicom Mahjong game built in.
Nice.
Like an illegal copy of the Capcom one. So Killer 7, I think is, first of all, story, themes, whatever, like basically incomprehensible. But like, it's just, you just let it wash over you and it's kind of fun.
It's got good graphicisms.
I like the graphics. I remember, before it came out, like, I actually thought a cool aesthetic would be, what if you don't texture the polygons? What if you just shade them? And then they did that. I was like, see? So thank you for stealing my idea, Grasshopper Manufacturer. I think that it's fun to play. I actually...
Didn't it have a neat control thing going on the GameCube?
Well, I don't know. The GameCube didn't really... Oh, I guess I haven't played it on anything else. But it is an on-rails action adventure. But like you control direction on the rails and it's not, I guess on rails I think of as like always forward momentum. It's like you can walk around every stage. You can go back and forth, to your heart's content, but you are holding, I believe the giant, whatever the giant button is on the GameCube, B, A, I don't know, A.
That's the green one.
Yeah, A.
I think it's A.
You hold A basically like its acceleration on a car. Like that's what makes you move forward, and you're on a track. And then when you get to forks in the road, you have to pick which one to go, and then you do that. And as you're doing that, you're doing actiony things like pulling out your gun and shooting at things. And if you hit people on the exact right spot, their little like weak point, they explode into like little blood globules, and it's a really neat effect. I think it's I don't know, from a tech perspective, it's cool. I like the tone of it. I think that like I have tried to read theories about the story and stuff, and it's like, oh, it's nonsense. It's just nothing. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think that the weirdness of it works for me, but again, it's my first Grasshopper game. I think there's some like there's a performance in there by Cam Clark, who was Leonardo the Ninja Turtle and Liquid Snake, among other things. So you immediately have that voice. He has a very weird character and I don't know. I think it's a solid choice. It surprised me again because I didn't think of that as like a top game for someone, but it does make sense, and I like it. Anyone else? Brandon, I remember trying to tell you to play it when it was new, and I don't know that you ever did.
I never did it.
Yeah. In fact, I said, let's trade. I'll play Resident Evil 4, and then you have to play Killer 7, and then I played Resident Evil 4.
Oh boy, I'm really late on this one. I'm really late on this one. I'm gonna have to.
Wow.
Bad 4.
That's why Frank didn't ask you for your favorite game.
It's right over there. I have it. I've had it since then. I
remember you getting it.
I just don't. I don't know what happened. I continue to want to play it. And it's actually embarrassing that I haven't played it because it's like everyone is like, obviously you like Killer 7, of course. And so moving on from that conversation, here's one thing that I like about it, or whatever. And I just haven't played it.
But you're not gonna like it because it's just been built up too much, and you're kind of contrarian with stuff like that.
Well,
So,
I remember
not
I
gonna
did.
work.
I did play it for I think like 20 minutes at one point, and I don't remember what I thought at all.
Would I like
I'll
any
play
Suda
it.
51 games?
Yeah.
You might
I
like
think you
a
would.
Lollipop Chainsaw, Ash. I
I-
think you
I
might like
think-
that one.
I think you'd like several of them, actually.
Oh, you might like No More Heroes.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've heard about No More
It's got a main
Heroes.
character literally named Travis.
I think
I
Shadows.
know that does not endear me to the game. I just want you to
I
know.
mean, Shadows of the Damned is ridiculous.
Shadows of the
Yeah.
Damned is one of those 2008 looking ass games. I don't.
It is.
It looked like the Castlevania game, the Lords of the Fallen or
Lords of
whatever.
Shadow.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
We're out of time. Frank, where do you want to rank this?
Oh gosh, let's look.
Under Contra.
That far
That's-
down, huh?
that's
Sure. I feel bad
Okay.
about the 3 on the bottom.
Yeah.
These are 3 games that you get out of the EB Games catalog in 1991 and have a good time. But
Miss Pac-Man, Military Madness, and Fury-San.
It
All right.
sounds a little later, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
My next game comes to me by way of my sister, who is
Ooh.
not a gamer at all. When I asked her, "Hey, what's your favorite game?" she immediately responded with Uno, No Mercy, and Connect 4. So I'm curious as to what they're doing with Connect 4 out in Las Vegas that she was able to respond with that so quickly. But when I had qualified it with video game, I already knew what I was going to pick for my sister. I already knew, and I already had an idea of what she was going to say. But I was just curious as to what she would say herself. And she said exactly what I thought she would say. It was Kingdom Hearts, which I did not put on the list. And
Wow.
Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I have spoken about this game on the podcast before. I did not play video games with my sister. I played video games for my sister. A bit about me is when I was growing up with video games in the house, they were not connected to the television at all times. So when you wanted to play a video game, you had to get the box out, you had to put it on the television, then you had to play. And there were only, so many TVs that we had in the house. So, if you wanted to play a video game, I would have to fight with my sister of like, I want to watch Taina on the Nickelodeon channel. Well, I want to play Need for Speed. So, we would have to come up with some kind of compromise about it. So I would play Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which was not a game I bought for myself. It was not a game she bought for herself. It came to us because my PlayStation 1, this is for the PlayStation 1, was a gift from her boyfriend. He didn't give it to me. I don't know if he gave it to me. I don't remember how I got a PlayStation 1. I just knew that it came from him. And that was just one of the games that it had. And I would play the game. And what I would do is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit was, I think, the first Need for Speed where you could get like chased by the police or whatever. And I would just play the game and get chased by the police. And what we would do, she and I, is that me and my sister are 5 years apart. We are completely different people. You would not know that we are related. We look different. We have different tastes. We sound different. It's just, you would not tell that we came from the same woman. But so a lot of our likes don't overlap. But what she would do for me, because she was a very Disney Channel kind of oriented person, she liked that happily ever after. She liked the Disney princess stuff, which I did too. But she was very much like happy sitcom family kind of deal. So even if it was something that she didn't like or didn't care for, if it meant that she get to hang out with her sister, that's what she did, which, I didn't deserve and still don't. And so what I would do is I would play Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. And the way that I got her into it is that she would play her NSYNC album, the one that Bye 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 was on. And I would do the code to unlock.
Strings attached.
Yeah, thank you. No strings attached. I would unlock the super special car that had all of the maxed out sets, and I would just play, and she would play that CD, and that's just what we did.
I have something to add about Need for Speed Hot Pursuit very quickly. Ash described it as the game where you run from the cops, whereas quite famously, amongst players of this game, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is the game where you can play as two factions, either the racers or the cops. But Ash's experience was apparently that she and her sister would never play as the cops. And I kind of love that.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
You could play as the cops?
Yeah, they were two. The whole thing of the game was you could be a criminal or you could be a cop.
I don't remember that.
Confusing titles, maybe? There's other needs is for speeds is, right?
Okay, I'm just looking it up. So Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit is what we're talking about, because there is also a Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
It's
Oh my God,
Pursuit.
which is a remake of that. But you could only play as the cops in the PC version, I believe.
That's what I'm thinking of.
And then
I would love if, ACAP was like baked into my DNA, but I'm like, I don't remember that.
But I will say that Need for Speed, being chased by the cops was part of the origination of that series. So like you could do it in the first one.
I don't play video games with my sister. Like I said, I played for her, and Kingdom Hearts was another one of those games that I played for her. But I think
all right, where are we putting it?
Need for Speed Hot Pursuit will go under Dragon Ball Z Budokai.
Yeah, I was also, both of those games are like hang out with someone games, and I like them. And I don't know that I want to put them next to each other, though.
It's the only problem for me is I think we may only have one racing game in here. Yeah. And I'm not sure that this. This
should be the racing game that's in here.
Indeed.
Doesn't matter. No matter what you want.
What I'm saying is that would make me rank it lower.
Yeah. Well, the only problem with ranking it lower is that then it would be below Travis's game, and I don't think that's acceptable.
That is correct.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess we're stuck.
But
then.
it's
I sound like I hate my husband. That is not true.
Even though I haven't done it yet, I still would rather play Killer 7 than Need for Speed 3.
Do we want to raise Killer 7 then?
No, I just want to put Need for Speed 3
I'm
below
okay
it.
with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So we're putting it below Killer 7.
And this works for me because I just want to separate the two, because Dragon Ball or Need for Speed, one has to be king over the other.
Let's keep the hang of it.
And Jeff, just as an aside here, make sure it says Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit, because Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is a different game.
Got it. Okay. I'm just going to say my sister Maya's favorite game is Katamari Damacy. She was very cool. She got into video games, again, like my parents, she got into video games once and made a very cool choice.
It's a very cool choice.
Heck yeah.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
And that means, this is now, I'm cheating slightly because I'm calling him a former insert credit contributor when Vince is also that. But that's what I chose.
You can do whatever you want.
My friend Chaz, he is a French man, and he has said to me, my favorite game is Shining Force 2. And so it is Shining Force 2. And because I was like, is there a game that you think that you could, choose that you think I could advocate for? And he's like, well, my favorite game is Shining Force 2. And I was like, well, all right, let's just do it then. Shining Force 2, it's another tactics game. Had towns you could walk around, which made it feel really big, like it was expanding outside of the grid. It had lots of secrets inside the towns, inside the maps, inside the job system. Also, it had a job system. It had a much deeper story, and it's notable for being really excellent, selling well, including in Japan, which was rare at the time. And it apparently had a lower budget than a lot of the Shining game, because this was actually the 5th Shining game that they made, because it was a large series even at that time. But they had a lower budget, and most of the team that made the first game had left, and it got refreshed with younger staff, and so they basically had to produce a hit or fail. And they did, and it sold super well, and very happy for them. And it's a cool game. I like it. I think it's neat. And when it comes to kind of pure legacy tactics games, I do think it's maybe the best one. Above all the Fire Emblems of the era, I think Shining Force 2 had it hands down. So that's this game. Did anybody else play this? Probably not.
No, but I really, really wish one day I could have my husband on the podcast, because he loves Shining Force. I think
what is keeping him from me on the show? Is he banned or something?
I don't know.
We did never ask him.
You've never asked.
Okay, this is me. Travis, if you're listening, come on, insert credit.
Yeah, let's get him on the show.
He listens to the podcast. He will respond.
Thank you.
But what were you going to say about Shining Force? Oh, just that he plays it?
He just loves that. I think you guys would have I would love to hear the conversation that the three of you have together.
Yeah.
He has that knowledge that I do not, and Shining Force is one of those games.
Yeah, there's something we need on the show, and it's more white guys Ash knows.
That's right.
Yeah, right. The Don Bluth looking ass game.
Yeah. Oh, Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair.
That one. Yeah, he likes that one too.
Uh,
I think of Shining Force and that game as being the same game. I don't know why.
but they're definitely extremely
Are
different.
you talking about like a console version of Dragon's Lair, or like the one that's a cartoon in the arcade?
It's the one with the cartoon cutscenes.
Like you watch the cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I don't know how you mix that with Shining Force.
Shining Force is a
That's right.
top-down tactics game with
They have the
like,
same number of
battles
syllables, the same cadence, and they're both fantasy guys. With
Yeah.
swords.
and they came out like 10 years
Does
apart.
anybody remember the Canoe, the little small Engage looking handheld?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he had Shining Force for that. He's gonna correct me whenever he
Yeah.
hears this podcast, but I think that's what he had and that's what he played it on. I don't know. That's all I have to contribute.
Yeah, it's an emulator machine, so that makes sense.
So what I'll throw in terms of ranking is that I like Ys 1 and 2. I don't really want to play it, but I find this more interesting and compelling and something I might play over Ys 1 and 2. So that's kind of where I'm leaning placement wise.
I mean, it's legitimately a really good game. I got more into the Game Gear Shining Forces. I played Shining Force sort of Haja a bunch, and then I replayed it in the Sega CD version where they remade it with nice big graphicisms and whatnot. But I really like the Shining Force series, and it's a shame that their huge expanded Shining Force 3 basically killed it because it did not sell at all.
Okay.
Too bad.
So where do we want to put it? Above East?
I mean, I could put it as high as you like. So I'd put it. What if I wanted to put it under Kickle Cubicle?
Under Kickle Cubicle is fine.
I think that would be funny.
I have no
feeling.
attachment one
All right,
way or
let's do
another.
it. Under Kickle
All right.
Cubicle. That's a funny place for
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
it. Well, it's
You know,
better.
I think
That's
that's
fine.
fine. I think that's fair.
Whatever.
All right. Yeah. Okay. It's time for our final round. Everybody bring out your last picks.
All right. So my last one was Ian Ferguson. I've only got one more Ian. This will be my friend Ian Adams, who listens to the show.
I know him too.
Ian,
I know all
I know
Ians.
him.
Yeah, exactly. And they know each other, which I didn't know until recently. I have a group text thread that's just called the Ians. So Ian Adams is at this point my oldest friend that I still talk to. He's someone that I met in high school, but not because we went to the same high school. In fact, we didn't even live in the same state. I don't know. Do you know how I met Ian? Brandon?
You
'Cause I
told
think
me,
it's-
but I've forgotten.
So my friend Nick, who you know,
Yeah.
was dating who he later married, his partner. And it was my middle school girlfriend's cousin who lived very far away, who just randomly messaged me online and was like, "Hey, I'm her cousin." Like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ian had an immediate answer, which I actually did predict, which is Super Mario World. So now we get to talk about 3 versus World. So for Ian, first of all, it's a game that he just had and he just like mastered, played front to back multiple times. But what I think is really interesting is that I don't know if this is still true, but there was a long time where the main game that Ian played, the main like genre, his game playing hobby was almost entirely Kaizo hacks of Super Mario World.
It is still the easiest game to mod. I think the biggest Kaizo community is around Super Mario. Yes.
So you're right, Javi. I think that it is a kind of a remarkable game because of its modding community. And you know, I think like the modding community inspired a new genre of game is fascinating. That Nintendo stole that and did it themselves.
Yeah,
like,
Super Mario Maker.
Yeah, that's really interesting. You know, that this game inspired tools, that inspired hacking, that inspired Kaizo, that inspired Nintendo. Like that's a really interesting full circle thing. You know, I don't know if we can judge it based on that stuff. I think we can in terms of ranking. But what I'll say, just base game wise, I don't think it's a significant leap from 3, in terms of like what it brings to the world and stuff like that. I think it is, just it is. I'm not going to say the Castlevania 4 of Mario, but it's more like that, right? And I think it's a better game, right? But it's kind of like, when a band puts out an album and then they put out another one, they're just, it's maybe technically better than that last one, but it's just doing the same stuff as the last one. Like that's what Mario World feels like to me. I think that I don't think Mario World does a good job of selling the Super Nintendo, like the Mode 7 stuff that it does is just not that interesting.
Yeah.
But I love it. I mean, I actually like. I just now fantasized about going home and playing it. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I would love to play Super Mario.
It's a fun game.
Great game. Great game. Very meaningful to Ian.
I have more fun playing a level of Super Mario World than I do of Super Mario Brothers 3.
I might agree with that. It might just, be the game that ultimately at the end of the day is the better one to play. It just didn't really do enough new to I don't know. Does it matter if it did anything new?
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of feeling the same way until the hacks actually kind of bumps it. It's not Nintendo. It has nothing to do with Nintendo, but that kind of bumps it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. If we're including the Mario hacks, this is number one for me.
I mean, we're not including the hacks, but just
but we are including
the reason why
this is a game that did that.
Yeah, the reason why he liked it is baked into that, and that bumps it up for me a little bit. Yeah, I do. I would kind of rather play 3 than World, but I'm also not a Mario player, so it doesn't really make much coming from me.
So I have a question.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Is the difference between Super Mario Land and Super Mario World is that one is in California and the other one is in Florida?
Nice. Yes. Ash, bonus credit.
That has something to do with Disney. I know that one of them is one of those places.
Yeah, there you go.
Super Mario World has that Epcot stage. Yeah,
exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, it was Shigeru Miyamoto's dream to build Super Mario World, but he died before he could see completion.
Yeah. They
say his head's buried under there.
Yeah. God.
Yes. Where are we ranking this thing?
Well, I think we just established that it's above Mario 3, which is crazy high on this list. As
I don't agree.
Yeah.
Do we want to put Mario 3 down?
Yeah. Do we want to put it above Mario 3 and then bump them both down?
That's where I am right now.
I'm good with that. I like that.
Let's bump them below Kickle Cubicle. What do you think?
No.
Both of them?
I think that's
both
funny.
of them.
Let's.
No, you put Mario World where 3 is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you put 3 below Kickle Cubicle.
You put Mario World where Super Mario Bros. Is now, and then you move Super Mario Bros. Down
3
under
below
Mass Effect
Kickle
2.
Cubicle.
Under Mass Effect 2.
Correct.
Not under Kickle Cubicle.
Correct.
All right. Let's compromise with under Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
All right.
It's not quite as funny if it's right above Kickle Cubicle, but
that's true. That's true.
I think it's below Kickle Cubicle.
Put it below Kickle Cubicle. I don't care about the Mario games. I'm sorry.
We are fully in the I don't care territory. Welcome to round 7.
Territory.
It's time for your last game.
I'm very curious as to what you guys think my last game is.
Why would we know that? Any way of guessing that?
I know that. I
mean, I'm putting my chips once again on Dragon Age Inquisition.
You would be motherfucking correct.
Right. You said there was another BioWare.
Right. Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did have a
So whose favorite game is that?
That is I think I'll have to call her my best friend. This is my best friend, Abby. This is her game, Dragon Age Inquisition. I have no idea what I could say about this game that hasn't already been said. I'm just going to take my camera and turn it around just so you guys have an idea of what this game means to me. I actually don't know what you're looking at right now.
I'm looking at
some kind of painting.
Okay, so there's the painting. There is one of the commissions I got for my favorite romance. There is the Iron Bull. There's a map of Thetis, and there's a bunch of Dragon Age Inquisition characters mixed with Baldur's Gate.
I was going to say there's a Baldur's Gate in there.
Yeah. There's one of those little acrylic standees where you can write your to-do list on it. I have a plushie around here. A lot of my art in the back is Dragon Age Inquisition.
So for those not watching, all of the art facing Ash
Yes.
when she's at her
Everything when
computer is Dragon Age Inquisition.
You got it.
She is looking at Dragon
fucking
Age
got it.
Inquisition the entire time she records insert credit.
Yeah.
Curious.
You understand. I hope that can convey some of the weight that this game means to me. Dragon Age, the first one, Origins, was the game that taught me how to mod computer games. I didn't know that you could do that. I don't know fucking how.
We got to talk about that off air.
Computer games work, but I learned and taught myself. I don't do computers. I don't like computers, but I brute forced learning computer so I could mod Dragon Age, specifically so I could mod more romance stuff into the game so I could romance Alistair more than what the game already offered. Okay, like that's the level that we're working on. Dragon Age, I've said this many times. I've written about this many times. Dragon Age Inquisition is the game that saved my life in just about every aspect of that word. I believe it came out in late 2014. I think I got to that game in like 2015. I was married at that point, not to that guy. It was not great at that point. Dragon Age Inquisition has done so much for me. It taught me so much. The big thing about Dragon Age Inquisition that I have to say is that I have been writing fan fiction since I was 16 years old. The very first fan fiction I wrote was a Queer Eye for the Straight Guy Inuyasha fan fiction crossover.
Wow.
Yeah, I had fallen
I'm just shocked
off.
there are straight guys in Inuyasha.
Inuyasha, he likes Kagami.
Yes.
More or less.
Whatever. I had
They're
written
kid.
fan fiction on and off over the years since then. But Inquisition, man, I was in a bad place. I needed something, and it came at the right time. It did so much for me. That was the first time I had ever gotten into Tumblr because I needed more. Give me everything about this. So I went to Tumblr and I found the women who would become my best friends. There was another girl who would have been on this list. Her name was Michelle. She actually told me that her favorite game was Civ, but she didn't wind up making the list. But I met Michelle.
Of that.
Yeah, I met Michelle
Nah.
and Abby through Tumblr because of our fandom in Dragon Age. And wow, it got me writing again. It got me playing video games again. It taught me what love could be for me. The thing about Dragon Age is that it got me writing again because I had stopped writing, and Dragon Age Inquisition came out right around the time Donald Trump got elected for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the game that kind of taught me, like, hey, if we're all going to die, I might as well do something because Donald Trump was the president. I might as well be doing something that I enjoy doing. And that thing was writing about video games. So I parlayed that somehow into a career and why I'm here talking to you. And this guy here, Cullen Rutherford.
Guy here. Yeah.
He is the person. There are a lot of things about Cullen Rutherford, especially regarding his VA, that I don't want to talk about and don't want to get into. But he, as a character in the BioWare game, because I attached to him so hard the way that I did in the middle of a marriage that I was not happy in, taught me what love should be. Through writing fan fiction, I got to make for myself the fantasy that I did not have in my life about love, marriage, respect, all those kinds of things. I had to write that out to see this is what I want, not what I'm experiencing currently. And that specifically was so transformative about me that it made me get up and change my entire life, where I write fan fiction now, or, I parlayed my love of fan fiction and narrative writing into something that I can enjoy as a career. And I don't know what I can say about that. And for Abby specifically, like, we've been friends ever since. She doesn't listen to this podcast. She won't. But one of the things that, we talk about all the time is that she's not a lawyer, and she's very specific about that because lawyers are specific about that. She is not a lawyer, but she has a law degree. She works in the law library. a lot of the fan fiction she writes is through the lens of law. And one of the fun things, we write fan fiction for each other. And one of the things that she always promised me that she would do and has never done was write about miscegenation laws in Thetis. Miscegenation is the fancy word for race mixing. She has experience with reading law text and things like that. And she said she was going to write like some kind of like a law brief about laws in the world of the Dragon Age setting about, race mixing and things like that. It's just, I'm not me without that game. I'm not here without that game. I'm not married to that guy without this game. Don't think I'm alive without this game because I was in a bad job. I didn't like it. I'm like, what can I do? I have no skills. Like, I didn't think I had skills or anyway. Like, I like writing, and I started writing Dragon Age fan fiction, and from there, I'm here. That game is special. I will never forgive EA for what they've done to that franchise and those people that worked on it. One of the really fun stories that I have about this game is that I used to work for a company called CSA Group. It is a Canadian engineering company. If you look on the back of a lot of your consumer electronics, you might see the little symbol. You'll see the ETL symbol. You'll also see the CSA symbol. That's Canada's version, essentially. Like, this has been electrically tested and has been certified to not burn your house down. And because it is a Canadian company, they have to have French language and English language customer service. So the French language customer service was based out of Montreal, where BioWare has headquarters. And there was one time when our customer service counterparts from Montreal came down to the Ohio office, to have a big kai or whatever. And I'll never forget, because I had a cubicle. I had a lot of my Dragon Age art up and stuff like that. And this old woman, at that time, I didn't think old people played video games, especially not the kinds of video games that I played. I associate old people playing video games with like Pac-Man and Mario and whatever. She came and she saw my cubicle and she was like, and we wound up bonding and connecting. And I was just so, I don't know what the word is, but I was so heartened or inspired or just comforted by the fact that I could see a woman who was much older than me and much different stage of her life enjoying video games. And I said, I could do that too. And so special. So special.
Ash,
so my favorite
getting the brief. Yeah.
My favorite thing about that game is how much you like it. And visually, it is very much of that era when I was like, video games are trying to be real and looking boring as a result. And I never loved looking at that game or listening to it, but it had a lot of neat things in it. That's for sure.
I will say one of the most common criticisms of Dragon Age Inquisition is the phrase that it feels like a one-player MMO. And I think Ash's background in World of Warcraft might have contributed to just being okay in that kind of setting, being comfortable.
I so much they did with that game. I can think of the names of the story quests and where they happen in the game and the things that happen. One of the big things between me and Abby, who is the girl who nominated or who got this game on the list, is that we really there's a moment when your little base is attacked by the big bad guy and things happen and you have to leave and you walk through the snow and it's this really harrowing experience and you get to your new base and all of a sudden this guy Cullen here, they all start singing about they start singing a song that's in the codex and stuff like that. One of my favorite fan fictions that I've ever written was for Dragon Age Inquisition. We talk all the time. I'm not a religious. It doesn't come across like that because I talk about God all the time on Blue Sky. I'm not a religious person, but me and Abby all the time talk about if we were religious people, we would follow the religion in Dragon Age because it's got a female Jesus and whatever. And we talk a lot about when we talk to each other, we're like, Andraste blessed her because Andraste is the name of the god in that universe. So much about that game is just formative for me as the person now that I don't know what else I could say about it, honestly.
How do we justify not putting this at the top of the list?
Bottom of the list is
well, I mean, we're ranking.
We're not ranking our own favorites.
We're ranking.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But it is an important
I'd put it
connection.
under Final Fantasy VII.
Under
You would?
7?
I would.
And why is that?
I know. Honestly, I would put it under Sonic 2. I know that y'all wouldn't go for that. I feel like under Final Fantasy VII is like the highest I could get.
Well,
without
you
y'all
do feel
fighting
it's
me.
like if you try to be a little bit objective, is it below Mass Effect 2?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then I guess that's fine with me.
Yeah, fine with me.
Hey.
Yeah, there we go. All right. We got one game left to put on this list, and it's all down to Brando.
That's right. Here is a semi-contemporary video game for the first time.
Wow.
I asked.
Are we talking 21st century?
I asked. Yes, I asked Taradoke, current coworker. Current coworker is what we're doing now. Taradoke, maker of Aces Wild, as well as working on Demon School and other things. But Nier Automata is the video game. I know you got really excited for a second, Jeffy.
Like
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, she has not played the original Nier. Sadly. And I wish that she had, because a lot of the things that she liked about this game,
Man,
if only she had played Nier.
this is
first.
like, I've met so many people who are like, Earthbound's my favorite game. Earthbound changed my life. And I'm like, they made a sequel. You can just play it. And they're like,
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, she played the sequel first, is what
well,
happened.
they don't
So
want to
that makes more
download the
sense.
mod or
kind of.
whatever.
But it doesn't matter, like, if
yeah.
it's a sequel or the one before. It's like, okay, if it's that meaningful to you, like, I don't understand the brain that's like,
Yeah.
I want to explore what else there is here.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know.
So help me understand. Nier Gestalt or regular Nier.
Yeah.
Okay. And it really depends on if we're talking about American Nier or Japanese Nier.
It absolutely does, yes.
Yeah, it does. I don't see the DNA of Automata in the Nier, either one, Japanese or American.
It's really story-wise and lore-wise.
Thematically.
Which is, I think, why people like Nier, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
the other
Because
stuff's
of that,
fine,
like,
but-
that just like sense
The
of
tone,
like desolate desperation.
But I feel like Automata does that better. So why are we?
Oh, no.
I disagree.
It doesn't, because Nier is way subtler about it, and you have to be interested in it to dig and find the meaning and connect the dots and things a little more. And Automata is well. Anyway, I should talk about why she liked it. It made her cry a lot, especially the ending. There was a lot of things about like feeling the automatons and becoming who you are and feeling yourself and these kinds of things. She loves to hate Pascal, is one thing she mentioned, and there's one NPC robot that says break time, and that has apparently been stuck in her head forever. So it's very like just played that game and then got into her.
Yeah.
And I think that's a reason that I could see for not wanting to play the first one, like in case you had this amazing experience and then you go back and you're like, oh, this isn't what I expected, and now did I really even like that other one? The fear of that could be there. But I still think she should because it's good. But
I like that the original Nier is meaner and sadder and makes you more responsible for the tragedy itself.
Mm-hmm. And it's also it's like floppier and weirder and more desolate, which
it
obviously
represents
I like more.
someone's great ambition being way bigger than the actual budget and resources he was allowed.
And Automata was pretty much matched, I would say, its ambition and resources. And
it is a better game, but like Automata is a better game than Nier,
but being
but it's
better
not the one I
doesn't make
love.
it better.
Yes, it doesn't make it my favorite.
I know that.
Anyway, I think that it's good, and it's my favorite Platinum game,
That's
bar
fair.
none. Like the difference they split between regular Platinum combat and Nier combat is good. It worked for me,
Mhm.
and I think it worked for others as well because it wound up being way more popular than the original. And it's also, I guess I would say, a good example of reviving something that wasn't that popular and making something that is popular out of it.
Yeah, making
and
it work commercially.
making it work commercially and making people connect with it emotionally in ways that were that they didn't in the original because it was too dang subtle for them.
I mean, like, a big reason to love the original Nier is how unloved it was. It was this passion project that was so poor, that it was so overlooked that the company that made it literally folded. They could not make another game. And Platinum was like, let's rescue this team and have them make
Well, I don't know
thing.
that they didn't. I don't know how many people from the original team actually worked on it.
It was probably just Yoko Taro.
Yeah, it's probably just Yoko Taro.
Kiichi Okabe.
But I do. It's also a funny thing for my life because the original Nier, like all my friends loved it. You know, like everybody I talked to was like, "This game rules." But of course, that's as many people as bought it. You know, so
yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah, everyone who likes Nier listens to this podcast.
That's right. That's right.
Boy, where are we ranking this thing? The good one. Where are we ranking the polished one? Automata. The one with the sexy lady in it.
Under Phoenix Wright.
I'd put it pretty high myself. I'd be fine with it there, but I don't know.
Pretty high. Even though it's not the good Nier,
even though it's not the good Nier, it's still a Nier.
Yeah, it's near perfect.
Frank, do you care? Yeah, Frank's over.
That's fine.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, let's put it through. Yeah, we have our list here. I'm going to read it off really quickly, and if you want to follow along with the text, you can find us on patreon.com/insercredit or forums.insercredit.com. It'll be there. From bottom to top, we got Puyo Puyo Sun, Military Madness, Miss Pac-Man, Need for Speed 3, Hot Pursuit, Killer 7, Contra 3, The Alien Wars, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, I'm happy that made it on, East 1 and 2, Pokemon Red version, Final Fantasy 6, World of Warcraft, Shining Force 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, Kickle Cubicle, the game I'm most likely to play after this, Dragon Age Inquisition, Final Fantasy 7, Mass Effect 2, Super Mario World, Nier Automata, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, and for the first time in Insert Credit history, the best game of all time, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah, it got up there. You know what's funny about the funniest thing about this to me is the gulf that why Final Fantasy 7 and 6 were so close together.
Yeah, and
they just got wedged apart. It's very weird.
My plan was to give the credit to whoever nominated the game that ended up on the top, but because the person who actually nominated this game is Ash Parrish, I'm giving the credit to Ash. Which means our credit total at the end of this episode is Brandon 7, Ash 7, Frank 9. Does anyone have anything they'd like to spend them on at this point?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No,
soon.
but Brandon, I want to tell you, looking at, so Esper provided a Moby Games link to Pac-Man 2 in the group chat. And just in case this is compelling to you, I want to say that the team came from Marvel Land and Rolling Thunder 2.
Nice. Yeah.
So,
I definitely played it on Genesis. I was just smashing them together in my brain. But I'll play it again. Spend a credit, make us play it. I'll do it.
Yeah, spend 4 credits.
I had
do it
something
later.
stupid I wanted to do with my credits.
Okay.
I was talking to Jaffe about this earlier. I'm glad he said like, oh, you could spend some credits on this, and I'm like, I'm glad. I only want to spend credits on sicko shit, and I'm glad all of the games we've been forced to play so far.
This is weird sicko stuff.
Shit.
So okay, the thing is, you can't just bounce off of it because it has a learning curve. So I'm trying to figure out what the criteria is.
Don't worry about it. I will play it.
I'm going to say that you have to beat level 2
of Pac-Man 2.
Yeah, so I'm spending my credits.
Are
to
you
get
really?
at least
Pac-Man
the first
2,
2 levels of
you
Pac-Man 2.
You are playing the Sega Genesis version, not the Super Nintendo version.
You know it.
And you are getting past level 2 because level 1's a tutorial, and level 2 you have to kind of figure out on your own. And if you go from there, please do, because the game really opens up in 3 and 4 in a way that gets really funny and interesting. But you have to get past level 2.
I'll do it.
In 4 weeks, we're going to do the Game of the Year episode. So let's make this due date for 6 weeks from now. All right. We've made plenty of plugs on behalf of our close friends.
Yes.
So I'm just going to wrap us up here. Check out our brand new revamped Patreon, where there are all kinds of new tiers and surprises. And just things we could cobble together to thank you for supporting the show all these years and continuing to do so. You can sponsor an episode with your personal message or an advertisement at show@insertcredit.com. You could join our community at forums.insertcredit.com or find us on youtube.com/insertcreditshow, where you can see all of Ash Parrish's Dragon Age Inquisition commissions. Follow her on Blue Sky. Buy Demon School. It's a good game. I'm playing it and it's great.
Nice.
I'm loving it. And make your tax-deductible donations to the Video Game History Foundation.
Gamehistory.org/donate.
Gamehistory.org/donate. Special thanks to friends of the show Only Ghosts, Kyle Brown, Corey, Alexander Davies, Will Roar, Jordan Thornquest, Death Strandicoot, Sean Patrick, and Plasma Goose. This episode is edited by Esper Quinn with music and buzzer by Kurt Feldman. I'm Alex Chaffee.
I'm Frank Cifaldi.
I'm Ash Parrish.
I'm Brandon Sheffield.
And your game has now been saved.
Game over, yeah!
3 hours.
That's a lot.
3 hour show.